Hey gang, I'm Largo. This is Lair, and we're just hanging out for Turkey Day. Uh, if you're like me, and I know there's a few of you out there, the turkey is halfway done. The pumpkin pie is, probably been chewed on a bit. There's not much going on in the sports world, and if you're not into any of that, then you're just kind of figuring out what to do with your evening. So that's why we're doing this. For those of you who aren't into the whole, family holiday cheer thing, we'll do something a little different. So got a couple of my buddies here to join us. I can pop them up on screen real quick. We got Will.
Hello.
Hey, Will.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. How you doing?
We got our buddy Ed. So thanks, guys, for hanging out. We did this not too long ago when we did a men's mental health check-in. So it felt like a right time to revisit that. And so we put a few things together. But before we get started, let's see if we got some people in the chat. I thought I saw Big Bacon pop in for a second.
He did.
We do.
Yeah, Big Bacon.
Yeah,
there.
He'll be back in, I guess. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. If you guys want to jump in and get on screen, feel free. We're casual. We're just hanging tonight.
Suit and tie required.
Johnny was here first. Our buddy from over in New Zealand. And speaking of Big Bacon, there he is. No, he wasn't first, but he is here. Hey, Patrick.
Bacon. How's it going?
Greetings, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Good
Same to you.
And our buddy Bjorn says Smebulok, which for the uninitiated is from what was that cartoon called?
Gravity
Will?
Falls.
That's it. That's the Gravity Falls thingy. So
I only know that because that was one of Luke's favorite cartoons, not one of mine. It was a good cartoon, but Luke watched that.
Fair enough. Our buddy Robert's in the house.
Greetings and salutations.
Good to see you.
Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Nice to see you. Ooh, all clean shaven too. Purdy.
Yeah.
Not quite clean.
Jeff Morris is here.
Trimmed.
So we've got Jeff. We've got that's you. Robert's Infinite Realms is here.
Double dipping.
And our other favorite buddy that we sometimes collaborate with, Gojitron, hanging out, saying Eduardo is jealous that the turkeys are getting all the attention today. That's true. That is true.
That is true.
Let's see. Oh, it jumped on me.
Although I don't think that's the
Ted's-
attention he wants, because
That yeah, not that
I
kind.
don't think Rooster goes too well.
It might be the attention that Largo wants to give him, but
Yeah,
probably not the attention he wants.
There are days. We need to get some turducken going. That's what we need.
Just ducking.
So Ted's here. Hi, Ted. Random diorama. Good to see you, sir. Very groovy. Fat Red Foo is in the house. Happy Thanksgiving to you, sir. Wraith Mace is hanging out.
Hey,
Good to see you.
great.
The Epic Badger, who I'm sure has been baking some holiday goodies today.
He has. I saw a picture, man. He baked enough for an army, and I don't know what he's going to do with all that.
I just wish we lived closer so we could help him eat it. The
Yeah.
Briscoe 1234. Good to see you. Skyfall is here as well.
Hey,
So I think that's got us caught up on the
You
chat.
go to the bathroom like I told you
So-
to?
Yes, dear.
I'm hearing something.
Yes.
Oh,
He's
I'll be
yelling at
right
the
back,
dog.
guys. Oh,
alrighty. While he's running
No,
off,
God.
I'm gonna try to find the right button here. That button.
I have that problem
Big
all the
Bacon
time,
gave
man.
me a. I know it's like little. These bifocals are not great for trying to find stuff on the screen. Big Bacon gave us a good idea. He said we should probably give some love to our favorite knuckleheads, Hella Dope. So I put together a little something here. I'll run that real quick, and then we'll get into what we're doing today. Let me see that button. That button. Yeah, this button. Woohoo! So
awesome.
when you
Excellent
get ready
work.
to do your holiday shopping, head on over to Hella Dope. We like those guys. They do right by us, and so
That commercial
like
is
to-
hella dope.
I suddenly feel
Indeed.
very low budget.
Hey, Jim.
I'm just an idiot with
oh.
a laptop who likes to tinker.
It's all those Guatemalan elves that Jim
This
has
guy-
there helping him.
Right here, I'm bringing up a comment. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone from Ducati 1987. That's my brother. How's it going, bro? How
no
are
kidding.
you? Yeah, so awesome to
Happy
see you here, man.
Thanksgiving, Will,
I hope you had
brother.
an awesome Thanksgiving. Give my best to
Very cool.
your wife and the kids, and hope to talk to you soon. So exciting!
Nice.
It's like having a celebrity. Yeah. Well, no, I talk to him all the time. But
Well, like we
You
were
have to call him
we
Ducati
were-
1987 when you call him, or is he just?
I
answering?
do. No, I don't. But that was a fun bike.
Yep.
I remember when he had that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I imagine those. Yeah, my motorcycling days are far behind me. I don't have the coordination or skill. But when did we do the first "Don't Call It a Comeback" thing? Will, it was
That was over the summer. I think that was probably around July or August, because I think June It might have been August.
It
I'm
had
gonna
to be
say.
earlier than that because it was well before PowerCon. That was August 11th.
Oh, you're
And
right.
Mental Health Month was May, so it was probably end of June, beginning of July. I want to say somewhere in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember it being around Joe Fest. So, but
Yeah,
with my
yep,
Swiss
it was.
cheese memory. But we got really good feedback on that. So there were a lot of folks in our community. They're like, this is kind of something we should talk about, but we never do. So
And
that was
November
kind of
is Men's
the
Mental
idea.
Health Month, so good timing.
There you go. That's exactly what I was thinking. And I'm not a huge fan of the holidays myself. And I'm guessing there's a few other folks that may dread the holidays as well. So I just put together a little something with some coping skills, and we can talk about that if you guys want, or whatever else we want to wander into. But let me run the little thingy here that we put together. And this is also available as a separate video. So if you guys don't want to just watch through the live stream, you can pop that up on the layer and check out those skills and see if there's something there that can help you. But I'll run this real quick.
This is the hour, the darkest place. Dante's Inferno, the devil's maze. It's a good world gone bad. Where we stumble around, trying to find or be found in a good world gone bad.
So just kind of a little Reader's Digest version of some things you can do out there. Random Diorama said, well, so much for Men's Health. Yeah, we'll get to it. We're hanging. We're just flying by the seat of our pants tonight. Happy Thanksgiving there, Woodman 29.
When are we not
Bjorn,
playing by the seat of our pants?
I know. A script?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Bjorn is our fact checker and wrench extraordinaire. Says it was after Joe Fest. Thank you, sir. And no, Scott, you didn't miss it. We're here. We're live. We're right now. Fat Red Foo is saying, definitely get humbuggery from Thanksgiving till Valentine's Day every year. So much so that people buy me Grinch stuff all the time. I'm hearing you. I'm right there. I'm a grumpy old bear. This from pretty much from now until after February. So many holidays, so many greeting cards, so little time. How about you guys? What's your feelings on some of this stuff?
I mean, I really liked your video. I liked how it was just kind of matter of fact, and it had all kinds of great coping mechanisms for it as well. That was really cool. And
Thanks.
I don't know. It does seem like the holidays every year it just kind of gets less festive. For lack
It seems like the more time goes on, the further you get from that grandparent relationship phase, where holidays were all with the grandparents and the aunts and uncles. The further you get from that, the less impactful the season seems to be.
Right.
So,
I would say,
yeah, there's
I've
definitely a
always loved-
transition from. Oh, go ahead, Ed.
I was going to say, I've always loved Christmas even to this day, but it's, I try to stay out of like the commercialization of it. So I still treat it like it's 1975 as opposed to, what they do nowadays. And like, it's definitely been different though. Like now that the kids are older. So when they were younger, of course, that was great, right? It was easy to really stay in that because of them. But now that they're older, it's like, what do you want for Christmas? I just want gift cards. Well, that's no fun. So.
Yeah, it's like there's a weird transition. When we were kids, the holidays were awesome because you had grandparents and parents that made it awesome. Or some of us did. Some of us didn't have, real rosy Hallmark holidays. But, when you go in that transition from being the kid to being the adult trying to make things happen, yeah, it loses some of the magic. And now it's, do I have all the stuff from the store that we need? How many more trips do I need to go back to the store to get butter and sugar and all the other stuff I forgot? Trying to hit the sales to get the stuff for the kids and, doing the budget. And it's like, yeah, suddenly it's not fun anymore. And then, if you're like me, if you've gone through a nasty divorce and kind of lost connection to family, or if you're just, got long distance stuff going because of job or work or whatever keeps you separated from family, or, favorite loved ones that have passed on to the whatever's in the afterlife, it can be a definite funk that will come. And, after the food is gone and you've gotten through the turkey coma, you start thinking about things, and it can definitely be a downer. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with this. And, like I said, I put together some coping skills I use that can be helpful. I have to remember to use them. Sometimes you get in that funk and it's just like, I know I have things I can do to get out of this, but all I want to do is just sit here and eat junk food and feel sorry for myself. So
I think that's
you guys
something
have
we
any
touched on
go-to
last time, Jim, was the fact that when you know the coping skills and actually getting yourself to do the coping skills instead of wallowing in your misery is probably the biggest challenge, right? It's getting your ass off the couch because, you get in that mode where you're like, I'll just sit here and watch this instead of, let me go tinker with this, diorama or whatever the hell you're tinkering with, or go take a walk outside in the woods. It's like, it's just easy to get in that rut and stay there.
Yeah, definitely. Scott might have a point here. If I can get this to come up, my system's running slow. Men's health revolves around women. There's some truth to that, good and bad. I'll give him that. Matt Mason is saying there's some BBTS sales going on. That's right, a whole bunch of Black Friday and holiday
Yeah, Jim,
sales are popping up
I
everywhere
have
right now.
the Big Bad product page pulled up and some Amazon stuff pulled up if we want to take a look at some of the Black Friday stuff going on later.
Yeah,
But I have tabs open, so we could take a look at those if we'd like.
okay, thanks, Will. Fat Red Foo saying I was legitimately angry when I heard Christmas music the day after Halloween. Dude, I know. It's
So-
like you can't even get through Halloween anymore without Christmas decorations being put up. I'm like, come on.
You know,
Everybody's
working at retail for many years, when I worked there was always like the bigger decorations they'd put out, you know, the more expensive things, because back then they had layaway, of course, right? So people would put that stuff on layaway, and I could understand that. Or you like go to Hobby Lobby where there's, you know, stuff that people's got to make, right? I get that stuff. But yeah, like now the local radio station here starts playing the Christmas music the day after Halloween. And I was just telling Luke this the other day about how, you know, for like me and my brother's 2 years older than me. And when we were kids, you'd go to the store like the week of Thanksgiving with your mom to buy, you know, the stuff for Thanksgiving, you know, the pie mixes and all that fun stuff, sugar and butter and all that.
Yeah.
And the store was still a store. You know, then your parents would take you there like the week after Thanksgiving, and it was like a winter wonderland, you know. And as a kid, it was like such a magical transition. You don't get that anymore now, right? It's just Halloween right
yeah.
into the next season, and that's gone, and then Christmas is gone, and it's, you know, tax time, and then getting healthy time, and then right into, you know, Easter, whatever, the Valentine's Day, whatever the hell's next. So
Yeah, exactly. I remember just like you know, that was part of the fun, was going to the mall or Kmart or wherever and seeing how the shops would transform, and they'd have the window
Yeah.
displays, and they'd have the little animatronic elves and stuff popping up. It's like,
Yep.
that was, I don't see that places do all that cool stuff anymore.
no, they don't.
Let's see. We had massive Thanksgivings when I was a kid, but then not much of anything when we moved. It just doesn't feel the same without my family. Yeah, I feel you. You know, and that's something we'll talk about too, is you have so many traditions growing up that give you the warm fuzzies, and then life happens and you move and you change. You got to come up with some new traditions that work for you. And that's definitely something that's not easy. See, we got Scott has some coping skills here. Apologies if my system's running a little slow here. There we are. Scott has walking on the beach. Yeah. I like to walk in the woods or just around the neighborhood. I know Ed loves to go walking around the creek. What do you guys do for just blowing off steam?
That's a good question.
Well,
We can blow off steam.
sometimes
Wait,
it can
what?
be as simple. Oh. For me, sometimes it's as simple as just kicking back in the yard with a coffee and just breathing the air. When things get really bad, there's a couple of parks nearby, really nice terrain, waterfalls, that whole outdoor rugged setting, you know, hiking through it, that
Yeah.
really helps to, I guess, unleash the inner man. Ooh.
There's actually a psychological connection from our ancient history of connecting to nature and how good it is for your mental health. That's why people do earthing, where they walk around barefoot on the dirt and all that stuff, even out in the middle of the woods, and that's why the Indians used to sit on the ground, was so they could be connected to Mother Nature, because it's actually really good for your mental health.
Yeah. I mean, we make a lot of fun of people who are saying things like touch grass, but you know, there's some truth to that. Got to get out there and get away from all the plastic and whatnot, and just touch
Take my plastic with me.
nature.
I do too.
You can do that too. Yeah.
Taking my dollies.
JLS Comics dropped by. Thanks. Good to see you. See what the Briscoes got to say here. That used to be a joke 20, 25 years ago about Christmas transition from Halloween. Yeah. And now it's a reality. They totally do that. Absolutely.
I mean, where I
So
live,
I think we're
I
about
go
caught
into
up.
I go into the store the week before my birthday, and they've got the small Christmas decorations up, like the smaller ornaments and stuff. And I'm like, you got to be kidding.
Totally.
Yeah, I think my Walmart
Yeah.
had the Christmas decorations starting to go up, I want to say before end of September this year. Like, just in some of the areas and stuff, it's like, man,
Right.
way too early.
Yeah. Well, my birthday's
Yeah.
in
Well, that-
September. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so there you go.
that holiday seasonal section right up there near the front of the store.
Mhm.
I swear they get it set up, and before the actual holiday, most of it is shoved to one lane and clearance, and they're already setting up for the next holiday.
Yep.
And it's like you're clearancing all the Halloween stuff. It's a week before Halloween, but you're putting up the turkey decorations.
I think a lot of retailers really got screwed with a lot of extra inventory because they used to order so much of it, like Halloween. Like, I know my Walmart, we live in a small town, and they would end up clearancing out tons and tons of Halloween stuff because they would wait, of course, till the day after Halloween to do it. And they always ordered way too much. So now they're ordering too little, and they're starting, like you said, they're clearancing it out a week or two before the holiday even hits now. So by the time, that person that needs
Yeah.
the fake blood the day of Halloween because they forgot to get it can't ever find the damn shit, right?
Nope. We
Just
went.
go to your old Toys R Us. It's now a spirit Halloween, so
Right. Yep.
Yeah, we went to our Walmart the weekend before Halloween, and they barely had any Halloween candy left. And I'm
Yep.
like, Halloween is like 2-3 days away. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's
and that
weird.
sucks because, like in my case, if you buy it too early, I'm not going to have any left by the time Halloween hits.
Yep. I'm the same way. Unless I hide it from myself, I got to put those little fun size. I got to put them in the freezer and then forget about them for a while. Or they'll be gone.
Throw them in a kid's candy thing, and it goes tunk because it's still frozen.
Oh man. What about Black Friday? I've avoided that like the plague. I do not like big crowds, and I try to do all my shopping early and just put stuff up. What about you guys?
When I was
I do
rebuilding my
not go near a
DVD
store for Black
collection,
Friday.
I used to raid Black Friday. Those kiosks they have in the middle of like Walmart or anything. I used to raid the hell out of those, and I
Yep.
quit doing that like probably just before the pandemic, just before lockdown. I quit doing that because I kind of felt like, okay, I've got enough. My DVDs are back up to snuff now, and after that, I quit doing it. But it was funny. One time, my wife was pregnant with our daughter, and it was the Black Friday before lockdown. We're standing in line waiting to do the self checkout, and some woman runs right in front of my wife, and she goes, "Rude!" And the woman goes, "Oh, I'm sorry," because she looked back and saw, "Oh, there's a very pregnant woman who's very upset with me."
Well, guys,
Yeah.
I've had the absolute pleasure of being in retail for the last 25 years. So guess what Black Friday could do? It could suck it. I hate it. I avoid it like the plague. Totally bites. I would rather pay more to not buy it on Black Friday and go through that stuff as a customer because it's horrible as an employee. And
I'm sure.
the only thing I can say is in recent years, a lot of these stores, because it really pushed for a while there, it was like Black Friday was the day. Everything was on Black Friday. Then stores started like this, race started, like this arms race where they were like, no, we got to be open on Thanksgiving. And that was like super annoying. And now some companies have rolled that back because people were like, this really sucks. You can't just be, like the holiday has to mean something. So
Yeah, the
just
retail
close
store started with like, let's open at 6. No, let's open at 5. Oh, we'll beat them. We'll open at 4. No,
4
we'll open at
a.m., yeah.
midnight. And the next
Yeah.
thing you know, it's Thanksgiving Day. It's like, come on.
Oh,
Our sale starts at 4 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. Wait a minute.
yeah.
I haven't even had
And-
dinner yet.
Mhm.
And I will say Walmart has done a better job doing like these weekly rollouts the whole month of November where, it's a whole month of savings. So they don't get the stampedes and all that stuff. It has toned down quite a bit, but I do not want to be anywhere near any store screw the savings
Mm-mm.
for my own sanity and peace of mind.
I was a
just
manager
stay
for
home.
Walmart when the Nintendo Game Boy, the second generation, first came out, and there was like fist fights and stuff because back then, you know, they'd make this big advertisement, and then each Walmart store would only get like 5 of those. You know, and
That's
it's like
right,
people were
yeah.
like boxing over them. Same with the big screen TVs. You know, they'd offer like the big projection TVs back then for like $500, and each store would get like 1 or 2, and people would be in line out the door from 5 a.m. waiting for it. Then get
And
pissed off
then,
because you only had
yeah.
2. It's like, hey,
it hit this point where the products you were getting on Black Friday for the deep discounts weren't even like the real model. Like,
Right.
let's just say Sony would put out like a TV with lesser features, like a discount model, and they would just sell it during Black Friday. And that was like a piece of crap model. You're getting it for less, but you're getting what you paid for. So I really just, I hate Black Friday. I think it's the worst. And if you like it, good for you. But I'll be home. Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
one of mine.
The only thing worse than shopping on Black Friday is trying to deliver to a store
Oh God.
on Black
Yeah,
Friday.
I can
Oh, yeah,
imagine.
Because you think it's chaos in the store, that parking lot, and here I am dragging 53 feet of trailer behind me. Woo! It ain't pretty.
I had a
there's
friend
not a
who-
lot of room in those parking
Yeah,
lots
I can
where the trucks
imagine.
go anyway, usually. So
True enough.
Exactly.
I had a friend who was a manager at a Walmart, and he showed me the tape. He showed me the security footage. It was about the time one of the Guitar Heroes came out, and there was one left. 2 people grabbed it at the same time, and one guy literally took his arm, took it back, and smashed the guy over the head with it. And it was like
Crazy.
and I was just like,
I witnessed
wow.
a lady punch another lady in the face over a Game Boy. I was like, "Jeez."
It's
When I was a
nuts.
teenager,
Yeah.
I'll never forget the moms getting into fistfights over Tickle Me Elmo. That was funny. I couldn't-
Those are nuts.
The Tickle Me Elmo
Yeah,
was
see what
crazy. That
we're-
started the big craze, right? Because like they were getting
Yeah.
auctioned off on the
Oh,
radio
yeah.
for like,
Yeah.
and you know that was created because I worked at Fisher Price at that time, and there was tons of Tickle Me Elmos the day after Christmas. All of a sudden, there was just tons of them laying around in the stores everywhere. It's like,
Yeah.
artificial shortage.
Let's see. World Made of Cardboard's here. He says, used to work at Toys R Us in the 90s during Christmas. That's woof. Should get combat pay for that. I didn't get off work till 4 a.m. and had to be at class at 8 a.m. in the morning. Man, yeah, that's a
Well, it
that's a rough-
absolutely ruined Thanksgiving too, because Thanksgiving,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
great, you're off, but you got to be in at midnight or 3 a.m. the next
Yep.
day. So you're eating, then you're going to sleep, and it's just like anticipation and like anxiety of. I'm so glad I don't do any of that now. Thank God we don't participate in Black Friday sales at the company I work for. So it's really wonderful. But to anyone out there not shopping, because I don't care about you so much, you have a choice. But anyone working, you know, you have my respect because
That's right.
it's really the worst.
Yeah, I
Goji's
almost kind
marking
of
an
want to go to Rural
anniversary,
King, pick up.
Oh, I was just
Yeah, I
gonna
almost
say,
want to go to Rural King,
go-
pick up a thing of popcorn, and just sit outside Walmart and watch. 'Cause it sounds highly entertaining.
Well, I'll tell you,
Watch
one of
the
my
carnage.
first as a store manager, my very first Black Friday. So the day before Thanksgiving, you know, you got to set up for the sale. You can't leave until it's like 100%
Oh,
ready.
yeah.
It was my first year, so I stayed there until 4 o'clock in the morning on Thanksgiving. Like I wasn't leaving. I was working. I wanted to make sure I was redoing everything. I walked out and I saw these lines all the way down to the end of the parking lot for the Kmart that was in the same shopping center. So I said, oh, let me go look at this because I want to see how my day is going to go tomorrow. There were 3 lines all converging on the entrance, no employees out there at all. I went walking over and people were yelling at me like, back of the line. And I'm like, I'm not participating. I'm just observing, you know, and I was laughing. The manager came out from Kmart at, 4 when they were supposed to open. He hit the switch on the door and just walked away. And it was a cluster. I mean, it scared the crap out of me. At one point, I wound up just holding the door for people to go in because there was like people pinned since I wasn't buying anything and I was just, observing. I was scared, but I had a great customers. I went out there. I talked to them ahead of time, made sure the line was nice and orderly. I drew maps showing them where all the deals were. I put them all around the perimeter. So like I was like, you just walk in, make a right, and everything on page 1 is right there. Everything on page 2, page 3, page 4, you just snake through it and then check out. Please don't stampede me, and people were cool. I didn't have any issues.
Well, that's one of the biggest mistakes I think a lot of big box retailers make is they want everybody to go all over in the store. So like on Black Friday, they're putting the DVD racks like over in the deli. It's like, why are you putting them over there? You're just making a clusterfuck for people that need milk.
I swear, I wish I still had them. I drew maps and I'm like, you are here. Deals, 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 deals. Don't kill me, please. I have a child. I need to go home tonight. But
yeah. But I'm with Goji. He says he's marking his 20th anniversary of not giving a flying F about Black Friday sales. I'm right there. And old Ted's working. He may need some mental help after tonight because the ships don't stop moving for the holidays. So he's got to keep things, keep them running. And what do we got here? Oh, finally get to see the face of the man who invented bacon. Yeah.
hey,
Bacon goes with everything. Jeff saying, I used to shop on Black Friday at my local Fry's Electronics to get sales on computer equipment. Always crazy, and I am glad I don't do that anymore.
yeah.
Totally. So, all those kind of things just totally add to the stress and grief. I threw some slides together if we want to go through some of this, or we can just kind of meander around. What do you guys want to do? We'll hit them for a second.
I think it could be useful to people out there, maybe people watching that aren't in the chat that just need to hear some of this stuff, Like I said earlier, just anyone out there, you are not alone. You could talk to us or not talk to us, and just hang out with us. But that's why we're here today, is just to be here, for anyone going through something. Because the way I cope is not talking about it and buying more toys. So,
Give me my dollies.
That is a coping mechanism.
My dollies.
So,
yeah, but Will, you're still married, aren't you, Will?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
So that could cause a problem, stress on its own, right? Hey, why are you buying more toys?
It's not as big an issue as you, let's just say. My purchases are one of the least problems we have.
Yeah. Well, mine doesn't believe me when I sit there and I'm like, well, I got this on clearance and I got this for $10. I mean, it's a job, but it's so big. No, it's shit. Nobody wants it. I got it cheap.
If anything I was doing was causing someone else harm, I would easily give all of this up. It doesn't mean that much to me, but
sure.
Yep. But it's a tough one because a bargain's not a bargain if you don't need it. And sometimes you get some great bargains that, they just take up space. Anyway, I put this together. I called the first one, Don't Call It a Comeback. So I'm kind of running with that theme because that LL Cool J song, you guys probably remember, I kind of consider that my fight song. Kind of like old Taylor Swift talked about when the funk's going and you need something to put on in the background to get your mind going. I love putting on that song. It just makes me feel better. So, you guys have a fight song? You have certain tune you put on when you try to get out of your funk?
Yep. I go with the Rum Jacks, You're the Light of My Shadow, which I put on my playlist. Yep.
Will, do you have a favorite tune? What was that, Robert?
I think I told you one of the things I do is I usually grab Social Distortion's Ball and Chain and just kind of accept the funk.
Good song.
Then get something to get past it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say I have a one go-to song, but usually, there's a couple that I'll go to. And I don't listen to music too often, like I said, most of the time. But But there are a couple songs that make me feel good, and I can't think of any of them right now. So
I need that happy memory brought back. So, and then at the same time, I need something that's pumped, and so I'll blare the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song.
yeah, I'll tell you. Hey, I'll tell you, I didn't really watch the cartoon, but Disney's The Gummy Bears theme song always makes me feel better.
Whatever works, man. No, we're not judging. Fat Red Foo says he copes by dabbling in creating. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of us do that,
nice.
either kit bashing or displays or dioramas or whatever. Although that can be another rabbit hole, because I'll get projects started and then they kind of sit on my bench and it's like I should get back to that. And then I feel bad because I'm procrastinating, but that's me. Death Seeker saying thank you for doing this. Well, we're happy to put this out there. I'm glad somebody's enjoying it. What's Scott? Scott says, yeah, they sell snowboards and he lives at the beach. Who snowboards at the beach? Go figure.
It's like getting surfboards in Central Ohio.
I know.
I used to laugh.
So he likes
I
Petra's.
live in Western New York, you guys know, and on right after Christmas, that's when Walmart used to start shipping out like the car wash products and stuff. We have like this, a mandatory center pallet of like car wax. I'm like, ain't nobody waxing their fucking car in New York right now. It's just not happening.
Exactly.
I need some, antifreeze windshield washer fluid.
Seriously. Not Falling by Mudvayne is Fat Red Foo's go-to song. Cool.
Nice.
I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to check it out. And kit bashing.
Yeah, sometimes
Scott,
that
you're
makes
not
me
familiar
feel
with
better
Oh.
as well. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no,
bashing
kit,
always makes me feel
K-I-T,
good.
not
He was
kid
making
bashing.
a little joke there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are kids that could probably use a good thrashing, but I think it's frowned on these days by the authorities.
It's only frowned on if you get caught.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. No
Gucci
desire to hit my own
But the
kids.
kids
But
tend to talk and write books. That's the thing you
Listen,
gotta remember.
let me just tell you something about holidays. I don't know if you guys ever had this, but we used to go to my grandmother's every holiday. But it was when you pulled up to grandma's house and mom would turn around and she'd lean over the seat and she'd say, any one of you, you'd get the threat, like you better behave.
That was my dad.
Yeah, we're at grandma's
Yep.
house. You better behave. And then things are getting a little sketchy while you were at grandma's house. You get the look like, remember the talk, wait till we get home, and unfortunately,
My favorite was when we're supposed to be going out someplace and I'd get I will turn this car right around. We will go right
yeah,
home.
of course.
It's like, I know you're not going to do that. Don't threaten me like that.
Oh, my dad would.
So-
My dad would take our asses home and get us a
What do you-
babysitter and leave us. Oh yeah, my dad was not playing around with us. Man. He dropped me off in the middle of the damn highway one time because I was getting mouthy in the car, and he told me if I didn't shut up, he was going to leave me, and I was like, you won't, and he left me. He came back like half an hour later when he got down the highway. He found a U-turn and came back and got me. I was like 8.
Well,
Talk
that's
about
one way-
trauma.
Oh man.
Definitely.
My
got
dad
your
did the same
attention,
thing.
Goji's a big fan of the Transformer movie soundtrack. It is one long fight song. There's some great stuff
Hell
on
yeah.
there.
I was going to say the touch
And,
from that movie. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, Jeff, that is frowned upon.
It is frowned upon. But it
Burning
feels
Heart by
good.
Survivor.
No, I'm
another-
kidding. I'm kidding.
Crazy
son would
Train
probably
by
kick-
Ozzy.
My ass now. If I tried to get bashing him.
Absolutely. Anyway, yeah, so you guys get the idea. I mean, you find something. Music helps me. I'm sure you guys can find a tune out there that works for you. Just always a good thing to find something that gets you out of that funk frame of mood and gets the blood pumping. But there's two things that hit us, and I think men are affected by this a lot, and maybe they're not even aware of it, but not just general depression and just dealing with the funk of the holidays, but something called season affective disorder. A lot of folks deal with this, especially in places like Seattle or other places where you have seasons of heavy rain and dark, dreary days, and it can add to the already stressful time of year. So we'll talk about that a little bit here. First thing to do is acknowledge your feelings. You got to admit that there's something going on, and I know it's a great thing. It's our catch-all. When people ask, "I'm fine. I'm okay." It's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to tell people. It's like, you know what? I'm not having a great day. Let's just not go there. Nothing worse than having somebody who's like super cheerful, want to get in your face when you just want to, have a very grumpy, I'm drinking my coffee. I haven't had all of my coffee yet. Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee kind of moment, So how do you guys reflect or deflect when you have somebody that's, maybe you have people visiting and you're expected to be the gracious host, and you're just at the point, it's like, I don't want to deal with anybody except my dog. You ever run into that?
I just have a look.
They know the look.
Yeah.
I
Will,
got drugged to a gathering today for Thanksgiving at a family friend's house. I don't know anybody there. I don't. So there was this fat, grumpy, bearded guy sitting on the couch while everybody else was in the kitchen conversing. And it's just like, okay, I'm over here. Just leave me be.
Yep. Sometimes you just need a few minutes just to, recharge, if nothing else. What do you do, Will? I know, do you just fake it till you make it? I know you got to be happy grandpa when the grandkids drop by. Do you?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, if it's something like happening, but yeah, it does get overwhelming sometimes, especially just too many people in too kind of small a place will like just start to get to me. Even like Walmart, I go shopping at Walmart if it's really crowded. I'm so mad that they don't do 24 hours anymore, because I used to go at midnight on purpose just to avoid people. I get in there and there's just something that gets to me where it's just like overstimulated. People are just being too loud. It's just, you can't like get your thoughts together. There's someone who's zipping by you at all times, and I really don't enjoy that very much. When possible, I'll usually just isolate myself and, because I don't want to ruin everyone's good time. If I'm over someone else's house, here's another thing I do, and I don't know if you guys do it, but like if someone offers to drive somewhere, I'm usually like, no, I'll just take my car, because I really don't ever like being stuck somewhere. Like you carpool to save money or gas. I'll spend the gas. I don't care. I just want to be able to cut out of there whenever I can.
I learned that trick from my dad, because we'd go to my grandmother's house on my mom's side, and he wasn't really, he liked them all, but he didn't like staying around there. My mom was the type that wanted to stay late. We had a bunch of cousins, so me and my brother and all of us wanted to stay. My dad was like, yeah, I'll just drive myself, because I got some stuff I got to do later. So, he'd go visit, get his food, and then he's like, yeah, I got to go take care of this. And he was gone every time. I mean, it was a half-hour drive from home to grandma's house. He didn't care.
It's good to have an escape valve. That's wise. Yep. Jeff is saying he was, used to live in Seattle, then moved to Portland. And I've been in that area. I know what he's talking about there. Yeah, very depressing in the winter season. It can be rough. So,
Gaz, happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Yep, good to see you, Gaz. We got to hang out with Gaz and our buddy. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna bounce off of what Wilhelm said about it being too crowded. Last night we had to stop at Walmart to get cat food and milk, and they're setting up for Black Friday because, of course, they're not going to be open today. And oh man, trying to get through that place, I was kind of going, oh god, get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just boxes in the
They
aisles,
can be
people
crazy.
blocking the aisles, and
Then you got the zombie.
Yeah, we got to
shoppers,
hang
the
out with
ones
our
that walk
buddy.
around, don't know what they're doing.
What
Oh, yeah.
actually what Ed just said is hilarious because I used to tell my wife, I just imagine them all as like zombie walkers because they're just mindlessly roaming
Yeah.
around, and this is you zipping past them, you know, like in video games. I'm like, I don't know how people are so slow. They're so
wait, wasn't this
slow.
the point of the day? Was Dawn of the Dead? I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Allison Troy, Retro Toy Princess, greetings.
Howdy. Yeah, there's something about people who go into a convenience store and have no idea what they went in there for.
Oh,
It's like they
forget
stop
it.
in front of the, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like they totally forget why they're there. And it's like, dude, I know exactly what I'm here for. I'm here to get it and get out. But there are days.
You get the people
I
that
do
are the
that,
ones
but
that
I'm
like,
at least
nope.
decent enough to move out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. My favorite is when they have two different brands of something, cereal, whatever, and they're just kind of looking at the boxes like, well, this one's got a clown on it, and this one's got a frog on it. Which one do I like better? It's like,
It's
just
all
pick
the
one.
same.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff.
I hate the ones that park their
Oh,
carts in the
man.
middle of the aisle and then they walk over to like another
Yes.
part of the aisle and are looking, and you're like, you can't say excuse me because they're halfway down the aisle. It's like, how about you take your cart with you?
Yeah.
That'd be a good idea.
Or worse,
Or the ones
when
that, like-
one's going one way and somebody else is going the other way, and they stop and they decide they want to have a conversation in the middle of the aisle. Now they've blocked
yeah.
it for everybody. It's like,
For
Well,
me,
the
it's the
ones-
guy at the gas
I-
station at the front of the line with 30 people behind him who starts, okay, I need these numbers. I need these numbers. I need 30 of the number 4 scratchers.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking of the ones in the aisles
yeah.
where they stop and they decide to look at something, but then they park their cart sideways.
Yep.
Like, why?
Exactly. It's all spaghetti sauce. Just buy one. Get out of here. Cut it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
But yeah, I was going to say we got to hang out with Gaz and Ken and a few other friends of ours the other night. Had a good time. So appreciate you dropping by, Gaz.
Yeah, that
Ken
was awesome.
and
Thank
Brick Something are out toy shopping today. They said they might drop in and say hi later. So that would be groovy. Our buddy Samuel Edwards is in the house.
happy
My
Thanksgiving,
That's
Thanksgiving,
Sam.
running.
Sam.
I apologize. Good to see you.
Yeah,
You know,
something was up in Canada this
I
week.
checked the
He was up
forecast.
seeing
I don't-
Adam and
Yeah.
Ken and
Yeah, I was going to say I don't have any rain. My signal's supposed to be good, but I'm still getting a little bit of a delay. So apologies if I step on anybody. It's because I'm out of sync.
I think we're all out of sync.
I purposely sat here for a second.
All right, let's get back in this and see where we are. Yeah, it's going to end up sounding like one of those bad Japanese films where they put the English sub, the English dub and the voices and the face don't match. You want to read this, Will? Because I think you're more in
Yeah,
sync
sure.
with everybody than I am.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's okay to not be okay.
Right.
Start by acknowledging and accepting your feelings, whether it's loneliness, stress, or the winter blues. Recognizing your emotions is the first step towards finding a way through them. And I can't agree more. It is easier said than done. And, I guess you got to start with yourself because one thing I would say I do is just not acknowledging my feelings at all, and it's
I've
tough.
got the biggest
It's tough.
problem with
When
that, too.
someone approaches me with their problems, I feel like I'm pretty good at, being reciprocal to that. I don't judge them, but I feel if I do it, I will be judged. Like they'll walk away going, "What a wacko," and I can't open up because of that.
Yeah, I feel like
That's
that's the
fair.
same problem.
Briscoe's
Just acknowledging how I feel is like a problem for some reason.
we're not taught that as kids, or at least we weren't when we were growing up. Yeah, Briscoe's got another good point about people who want to sit there and chat with the cashier when there's a line behind them. I hate that
man.
too. Then those things just stress me out so much. It just adds to whatever else is going on. But I think what helps for me and maybe some of you guys is at least pick one person. For me, that person is generally Will. Sometimes our buddy Grindhead Jim, but somebody is like, look, dude, I'm going to private message you and I'm going to vent and you're going to listen and I'll do the same for you and no judgment. Sometimes I just need to talk to somebody and get it out of my head, even if it sounds stupid. So there's always that one guy you can do that with. You just got to figure out who it is.
Yeah. As men, I mean, the whole mentality that most of us were raised with, of that whole men don't have feelings, men don't show emotion, men swallow that emotion. It makes it so difficult when you truly have something you need to get out to actually let it out.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'll tell you,
Yep.
for me, one of the biggest problems I think I have is sometimes the only people around you in your adult life are people you work with or people you're, a family with. So the problem is if you try to talk about your problems with coworkers or close family, well, sometimes those problems are related to those people. And it doesn't go over well because people feel attacked or, upset. And it's really you just talking about the way you feel, not how they make you feel, but it's still related. And then it kind of causes problems, so I tend not to do that.
Yeah, I like
think
what
one of
Fat
the
Red
hardest
Foo
parts
says here.
is
He points out that during the pandemic, people lost all social skills. It's like they forgot how to be polite. They forgot how to,
Sure.
talk to people. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I
What were
do,
you saying,
I
Ed?
do admit
Sorry.
it's gotten worse.
Sorry, I
but,
didn't mean to
I
step
did
on you.
notice these behaviors before the lockdown. I really did. No, they always bothered me,
I would say
but it
that,
has gotten worse, much worse.
oh, for sure. I agree with that, Robert. I think people just forgot, especially because the stores were the way they were, right? People fighting over toilet paper and stuff. I mean, people just forgot the humanity part of just being alive, right? But
Well, I mean, we were just talking about people fighting over Tickle Me Elmo, so it was there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was there for sure. But
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just now it's necessities instead of the fun stuff.
boy, I tell you, I
Yeah.
never had more fun
And it
during the
seemed like-
pandemic than pulling into a parking lot with my trailer and having 6 cars follow me to the dock to see when I opened those doors if I had TP on there. Seriously?
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys
Must have
ever
not
watch a
been
show called Superstore?
fun. No.
Familiar with it.
There's a scene in that during the lockdown where they're carrying a pallet through the store, and this is based on true stories, of course, but and people are literally grabbing the toilet paper off the pallet as they're bringing it through the store. And Eric tells them, "No, you can't do that." And it's like, well, I guess you will.
Yeah. People got goofy during that. They just panicked. Sometimes I don't understand. It's like it used to be, people would get rude around holiday sales and things like that, the Black Fridays, but it wasn't every day. Now it seems like every day people are rude. Maybe I'm just more aware of it. I don't know. Justin, good to see you. One of our newer watchers and been
Hey,
around a few
Justin.
times now.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, just left the turkey funeral. That poor turkey. Hopefully he gave his life for a good meal. So hope you had a good time. I imagine a 1.5 hour trip home after turkey. That's got to be exhausting.
That's a
And,
2 windows down with the music up.
It was only a 10-minute drive, but he napped for an hour and 40 minutes.
There you go.
That's a good one.
And, oh, nice. They've got a ship coming in where Ted works called the Largo Elegance.
That's a
I'd
nice
like,
new, that's a
maybe
new
snap
show
a
for you,
pic-
Largo.
Yeah, that'll be
Largo
my
Elegance show.
Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Largo
Yeah.
Elegance.
I hope it's not a
Yeah,
garbage
if you
scowl
can,
if that's the case.
Yeah, right.
It would be in my case, wouldn't it? Ted, if you can snap a picture of that, the name on the ship, that'd be cool. I'd like to see that. Justin is a fellow trucker, like our buddy Big Bacon. Says, I asked myself if I was carrying ammo a lot. Yeah, understandable. There are days.
And that's something I actually know.
Yeah.
We get a hazmat certification log, and it'll tell me class 3 point, small arms ammunition.
Got to know what you got.
Can't
on
tell
the
you what
truck.
kind it is, but
Yeah, it's interesting.
So
The
going
things
back
that
to
get
this,
hauled
Jim,
around the country,
adding
you just
on
never
to
know.
what Big Bacon was saying about being a guy, I think it's with like just even recognizing your own emotions is tough because, you know, as young men, we're just trained that you get up and you just go, right? You just keep moving forward. You don't worry about, you know, what happened yesterday. You don't worry about how you're feeling. You got to get up, go to work. You just put your boots on and just keep going. You just don't have time to sit there and go, why do I feel this way today? And you're just not, you know, when you get older and you start drinking coffee out on the back porch, all these thoughts start going through your mind and you're like, I wonder why I feel this way. But as young guys, you're not taught to do that, right? You're just taught to go, whether it's football practice or you know, whatever it is, right?
Yeah, most of us don't come from a culture of meditation or reflection, and those aren't skills that we have in our back pocket when we need them, and they're not easy to learn if you didn't grow up with them. So,
I learned,
you know, and
3 years ago,
with
and it was
connecting with others.
good.
What was
Is that
that?
a
I'm sorry,
helidope
I
mode?
didn't catch it.
I said I learned how to meditate 3 years ago, and it was probably the best thing I ever did. But yes, this is a hella dope mug.
Very nice. He is part of the Mug Club.
Stacy's not watching, is she?
I'm the moderator, so I got a special mug.
Okay.
Yeah, he gets perks. He keeps them on.
that
he keeps them in
explains
between the rails on the show.
I got a mug. I got a T-shirt.
What's Jeff saying here? The one good thing about the pandemic is that it forced my company to learn how to work remotely, and now we have people all over the world working together on the same projects. You know, remote working has been really nice for a lot of folks, and a lot of folks didn't want to go back to the office after everything settled down.
Bacon's got a hella
Nice.
dope shot glass.
Shot glass.
An exclusive one. I
Yeah.
bet you can't get that anywhere else.
One of a kind.
Indeed.
Jimmy Neutron's here.
Jimmy
awesome.
Neutron.
Got a blast.
Hey,
The other
Good to see
secret
you.
is though is
Something
that
still
corporate
going
found
on,
out
man.
they didn't have to pay all that overhead for having an office, and they're like, "How do we get
Yep,
rid of the
exactly.
office?" You know?
But the stores found that out
Yeah.
too, right? Walmart will never go back to 24 hours now that they figured out they can make the same amount of money without being open 24 hours.
I know. I hate it.
yeah,
In fact, Meyer discovered that their product loss went down like 85% by not being open 24 hours.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not going back.
and it's a mixed blessing, I think, because the problem I've run into, I've done, you know, working from home for a while, and whether as a consultant or, you know, working on projects with other folks, it's hard to separate your work life and your home life if your work's at home. You know, you find yourself working hours you probably shouldn't be. It's hard to turn off work and go decompress. You got to put some barriers or you know, borders up.
Yeah, that was one of the struggles that I have is because that transition of driving to work from home and from work to home was always a nice transition period. Now you don't have that, right? So now I have to like get up and go outside or do something just to, you know, break that cycle. Because like you said, I work till 5. I might be on the computer till 6:30 at night, not even realize it because I'm just banging away working. And it's like,
My transition period.
Yeah, saying yeah, we
was going out the door, and it's like I'm free. So
yeah.
that helps.
Yep, I get you guys. You know, we were taught boys don't cry, you don't talk about your feelers. You know, that's just it was the thing. So fortunately, I think we've gotten a little more open-minded as a culture. Maybe not. I don't know. Goji, you might
Sorry,
have a point.
Carl.
You and Will might
Sorry,
have to
guys, I didn't mean to
renegotiate.
start something.
Yeah. They're unionizing. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, Robert and
Cousins
I
are
have been keeping the
unionizing.
Cup Joke
They're
alive
always revolting.
forever.
Jeff was saying too that even though the remote working can be a good thing, you lose the face-to-face connection a little bit with folks, and some folks just don't have very good camera etiquette, whether it be what do you call it, what's the one they use a lot? I went right out of my head to do not FaceTime, the one for business. Anyway,
The Zoom meetings where people
Oh, the Zoom meetings, yeah.
Zoom and
Yes.
Teams are the two
oh,
that I-
those were god awful.
you just see like
Because some
someone's
folks just
forehead
have no
the entire time.
clue.
Yeah.
Yep.
or it's like from their chin down. You're like, what the?
I love the people that use like the fake backgrounds.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that when they move, the things like cover up half their face and all that stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
at
but
work,
when
I
you
use
center
try to
fake
use
yourself like
backgrounds all the
this,
time.
you could be at the bar and nobody knows.
That's true.
yeah, they have all those computer memes and or YouTube videos and stuff. They have like the guys riding around with like the office in the background and they're on a surfboard or something. It's like,
That's funny. Oh, let me see. I'm trying to keep up with
Microsoft
the
Teams,
chat.
Yeah. That's what a lot of-
Yeah,
Microsoft
that's where I caught
Teams. Oh, yeah.
That's what we use too.
Yeah. Not great.
I don't get to work from home, so
Oh,
Wouldn't that be nice though, Bacon?
Yeah,
you,
there's-
just, you pull up a steering wheel, slap it on your desk. Just
look,
like
I found a way to connect the trailer to the house, but getting the house into gear is where I'm having the hard time.
I got you.
what was that comedian? What was it, Stephen Wright? He said one time he accidentally put his car key into the front door and drove his house around the block.
Yeah, that was who said it.
Yep. But yeah, there's things have changed. We're not always the greatest with adapting to change, whether it be Zoom calls or working from home, dealing with those things. We can adapt. We just don't want to. We get stuck in our ways sometimes. But getting back here where we were wandering before, connecting with others. You reach out to friends and family if you like your family. If not, skip that. Social connections can be a powerful antidote to loneliness and isolation. Consider planning low-key get-togethers, not to be confused with Loki, Thor's brother, or just simply catch up
Oh, that'd
over a
be
cup
badass.
of coffee.
I showed up wearing my horns and everyone was looking at me and I was like, I thought this was a low key.
Exactly.
the hell? Yeah. But yeah,
Oh,
no,
Scott knows what I'm
definitely.
talking
And I
about.
think it's good to find a reliable, impartial person to speak to about some of your feelings because, like I said, sometimes things could get muddled when you're talking to people a little too close to home.
Yeah,
Get off my driveway.
exactly.
It's a hard thing because,
But,
like Will's saying, right? If you talk to, your wife or your son or your brother or whatever, most of your problems are revolving around that type of thing, right? Like, for the longest time when I was married, I talked to my wife about stuff that I was feeling, and like it would make her mad because a lot of it had to do with maybe not directly things she was doing, but things that related to the house or the fact that we were remodeling a kitchen for the 15th time was driving me insane. And she's like, oh, so you don't want me to have my nice kitchen? I'm like, it's not anything to do with that, and it's like,
Yeah.
or like I talked to my sister a couple of times about my mom, and it's like my sister loves my mom and worships the ground she walks on. I think she's mostly a pain in the ass, but that's just two different points of view, right?
Right.
Well,
You gotta-
my dad used to say it, feelings aren't right or wrong, that they're just your feelings. And, sometimes, like I said, you just have to get them out.
Yeah, and again, you have to have permission sometimes in the sense of who you're talking to. It's like, look, I'm just going to say what I'm feeling. Don't get all bent out of shape. And I'm not looking for, I don't want you to fix it. I'm not asking. It's like, you know how some people you'll talk to and they won't even let you get the thought out of your mouth before they're telling you, well, you should do this. It's like, that's not what I'm here for, man. I'm just telling you what's going on in my head. So it's a thing. But yeah, you got to figure out who you can talk to candidly.
I have the unfortunate nature of being gone 5 nights a week. I'm home 36 to 48 hours. So keeping friendships and bonds with people, very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And it really limits who I can talk to.
You got a lot of time spent alone too. So your mind's just
all the time.
Yeah.
You probably also have to deal with the info dump. I get that a lot with my wife where she does her thing, I do mine. And then when I'm sitting down to have my coffee in the morning, that's me time. That's not, I want to hang out and talk about all the bills or this or that or what your cousin said. And she has this bad habit of she'll want to come out there and give me the info dump of here's all the stuff I was doing the last 2-3 days. And I'm like, that's great. But until I'm done with my coffee, I don't want to hear it. I'm not capable of listening to that now and responding.
I get that in spurts. I get phone calls while I'm on the road, giving me little bits of it. But then, yes, once I come through that door, I get the full volume.
Oh yeah. My dad, he used to just groan because he'd get home from work, and that was when my mom would want to give him the info dumps. Guess what your son did today? And he'd be like, no. Any of you guys have a coping mechanism for that one? Because I ain't figured it out.
No, I don't get divorced. Stay that way.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But hell, nowadays it's cheaper just to hide the body.
It's true.
And I gotta say, Allison, I think you summed it up in a perfect way. Rarely does anyone offer me advice when I need it. It's always some kind of busybody thinking my vent is an open invitation to their opinion. And that's one of the biggest problems. And that's why I try not to give an opinion when listening to someone or judge any of their actions until you get the whole story. And sometimes just talking about it, just letting it out without any, I guess, direct feedback from the person is fine. It's enough. Just by saying it out loud, you kind of work through it yourself. But
I think a lot of people struggle with the fact, though, too, that when you open up to them, they look at it like it's an open invitation for them to tell you about all their problems when you're trying to get help for yours. And it's like the last thing you need is them dumping it on you. And a lot of people don't get that. It's like, I'm just here to vent. Like you Will and Largo, you guys have each other. The Teflon 3, him and I, if one of us is having a bad day or whatever, we'll bounce stuff off each other. And it's usually like, at the end of it, it's like, hey man, you'll get through this, it's just another bump in the road or whatever, just keep going here if you need me. Right. That's how it ends. It's not you're an idiot or, I think you need to do this or whatever. If it's something we're asking for advice, then it's great. But, a lot of times you get somebody if I call, I'm not going to call Teflon and tell him I have a problem. He's going to be like, well, last week I had the same problem go on and you didn't really help me and all this other stuff. It's like, what the hell, dude? That's not what I'm here for,
And it's okay to clarify too. It's like if you start a conversation with a friend, it's like, look, I'm not asking for advice and I'm not, this is just me needing to vent. If you're not capable of doing that at the moment, let me know. I'll talk to somebody else.
I had to have that conversation with my wife all the time.
Hey, oh yeah. And
my ex-wife,
there's times where you can say,
she'd just come to me and I'd be like, is this you want my help kind of thing? Or you want me just to listen type of thing? Because I don't want to get it wrong. Cause I always do. So just tell me what you need to begin with. And then we'll go from there. Right. And it worked out better that way. She didn't like it at first, but after a while she would realize that that's, cause as a guy, I just want to fix it. It's like, just do this. It'll be fine. Right. But
yeah,
that's not what she wanted. So after we were married for 23 years. So, I mean, there was plenty of time. So after about the first 10, and it always ended up in a fight, I'd be like, okay, do you want me to fix it or do you want me just to listen? Because I need to know before we start. And that worked. It worked out great. But
I've got something similar to your issue. I'm the vent receptacle with somebody, and she will go on for a while and then ask, "What do you think?" And it's like, you're not talking. What are you thinking? Well, I was letting you get out what you needed to get out. I was listening. The opposite of listening is talking. If I'm talking, I'm not listening. So let me know when you need my input. If not, I'm just gonna listen. Still doesn't work.
And you could tell too when you're in a conversation with someone and they're formatting what they're going to say before you finish saying what you're saying. It's like you can see it in their eyes. It's like, you're not really listening to me right now. You're more focused on saying something witty. It's like that's not helpful. But yeah, it's cool to clarify, especially like when I'm talking to Will or somebody. It's like, if I want some feedback or advice, I'll just say, I don't know what to do in XYZ situation. What would you do? Or what do you think?
Yeah.
As an opening for him to say, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think as men, though, when we're communicating with other guys, it's an easier conversation to have when you're communicating with your wife or, your significant other. And it's just because you're not worried about the how you approach it, right? Because I can call up Rob and be like, dude, this is such a fucked up situation and I have no idea what's going on, right? I couldn't go to my ex-wife and say it that way because she'd be like, oh, here we go again, right? And it was
Yeah, that's true. And I don't mean to be a downer on marriage. That's not my thing. I loved it so much I did it twice. It's just a different relationship. It's a different conversation. It's a different set of communication skills that you have to have. That
well, you know each other the best, right? When you live with each other all the time, you know each other the best. So
sure.
And everything that you feel
that is
going to affect her, going to affect that other person one way or another, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, right? It's still going to affect the overall outcome of the thing, right?
Yeah. And like Will touched on, it's like when the person that you would talk to is part of the problem, you need somebody else you can talk to. And there's times where, God bless her, my wife can drive me nuts and I can't talk to her about it directly. So I'll call Will.
And look what you did to Will. You made all his hair fall out.
I know.
I know. Then I used to have a full head of hair when I met him. But that kind of brings us around to our next point. If I can get this to come up, set some realistic expectations.
Sure.
Whether it be in a particular relationship or dealing with the holidays, what's the old saying? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. That kind of applies here. You want to tackle this one, Will?
Yeah, sure. So managing your expectations for the holidays. It's easy to get caught up in an idealized image we see in movies, social media especially. You see it with other people.
Yeah.
Instead, focus on what is realistic and achievable for you. One of the things, you look at other people's lives on social media, they're showing you a version of themselves that's not the real version. A lot of people are showing you a glamorized version of themselves. And you have to understand, just because you may not feel like things are going great for you, things are tough all over. One of the things, you'll find if you do open up or you talk to your friends is a lot of times they're having the same issues you are. It's all just human nature and we all have these feelings. So, managing your, expectations, something that's achievable for you, whether it's just reaching out to an old friend, opening up for the first time and really just letting it's tough, man. I keep it all in. I vent to Jim. He knows some of the stuff I go through, but there's probably 10 times more than that I can't talk about, because of reasons. But it's like, it feels good, and setting a small, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. You just gotta take that first step and try something. Just realize that if you do the same thing over and over again, you're never going to get anywhere. And there are people. One of the things this community, especially, just all the people I know in this space, is that no matter how big a problem you think you're having, man, someone's been through it. And this community, more than I think any other community I've been in, and I'm only speaking for myself, is just really receptive to helping.
I agree with that 100%.
I think you have to figure out neutral territory sometimes too, in the sense of if your home is being invaded by all your outlaws and in-laws and you're stressed out, call your buddy and say, we're going to the Waffle House for half an hour because I need to get a cup of coffee and just get out of here. That's totally cool. You just got to work that out with your family and let them know, look, when I get stressed, if I take off for half an hour, there's a reason. Let me do that, and then I'll come back and I'll play nice. But
how close is it?
In place.
How close is that closest Waffle House to you, Jim?
Probably about 12 hours away. So that's a bummer. There are some local places I can go, but it's not the same. I miss Waffle House. I do. Do you guys have a little shop, a little corner shop or coffee shop or bar that you like to go to? A place that is your neutral territory?
I got to say, the one I would call that closed. So it's gone now.
Yeah.
No.
I don't go to town. If I need to get away, I go into the woods, go back to the creek. It's 5 minutes from home, half-hour walk, sit down on my rock.
That works.
Listen to the water.
Yep.
Come back refreshed. So
I'd imagine for you, Big Bacon, your truck cab might kind of be your fortress of solitude sometimes.
Well, I'm in a bit of a strange dilemma when it comes to that, because I'm home. Right now I'm home. But I'm here 2 days a week. I'm in the cab 5 days a week.
Mm.
After 10 years of doing that, there are times I feel like that's my home. And this is just the place I visit. And that's a terrible feeling to have.
It is.
I never really thought about that.
Yeah. But no, for me, there's a Waffle House up the road that I do love. And then the VFW is like 2 blocks away. So between the two, I'm good. If I need coffee, boom. If I need booze, boom.
That brings up a good point too. There are a lot of groups, especially for veterans, whether it be the VFW or other veteran groups that you can join and be a part of. So you're dealing with fellow servicemen or people who can relate to you. They know where you're coming from. That's a good thing.
The thing about a VFW is, even if it's not a service related issue, I can walk in there on any night of the week and find somebody who's dealt with what I'm going through.
Yep.
So,
yeah. For some folks, it's a motorcycle club, or it's a toy collector group, or what have you. Get in where you fit in. There's a group out there where you can find commonality. Just takes a little bit of research.
I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Oh,
I think that's one of the things that the pandemic did kind of ruin, because before the pandemic, there was a lot of local toy groups and like RC groups. I used to do RC cars and stuff that would all get together and do meetups and stuff like that regularly. And the pandemic blocked that out, and it's really kind of lost a lot of that stuff. I mean, we all get together online now, but you're not getting together in person, which is a completely different experience,
That's true. Car clubs is another one. A lot of people love to get together and hang out and talk Mopar or what have you. But you're right. Yeah, it hasn't gotten back to what it used to be. Hopefully that will change. Scott mentioned Discord. There are some folks who use Discord that way. I know Hella
Yeah.
Dope has a Discord. Who else has a Discord that's up?
3POA has one.
3POA has
Punk
a
with
Discord.
Toys. Punk with Toys
yeah,
has
so
one
there's
for his
Punk
members.
Toys, yep.
Yeah, I'm not real familiar with Discord. I've dabbled, but that's a good place to go and find people to hang out with like interests. It's worth checking out if you're into that. Let's see what's Fat Red Foo got here. As a former shipping clerk, 5 years, I have nothing but the utmost respect for drivers. Totally, it's a hard life. I know a lot of my uncles did long distance trucking, and it puts some years on you. That's a lot of miles.
Yeah, when I started driving, I weighed 175 and I had a head full of brown hair.
Most people don't know this, but Bacon's really only 17. He just looks like he's 45.
That's it. Hard living, man.
It's hard life.
Yep. Justin saying just talking
That's right,
toys
Justin.
with guys like you through YouTube. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that,
Yeah.
That's the cool
you know,
thing
for
about
me,
like
that's
Oz's
kind of what I
Saturday
do.
night stream. Oz's Saturday night
Yeah.
clubhouse. I mean, you guys stopped in there, right?
Yeah,
It's great. 'cause,
absolutely.
you know, there's usually like 10 of us on stream with 50 people in the chat, just all bullshitting, right? And we just hang out and we talk about everything from toys to food to whatever, right? It's good times. to hang
Yeah, a
out.
lot of times I'll put it up on the YouTube on the telly, so I can't just jump in the chat, but I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm just not
Yeah.
interacting, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable
I-
on my sofa. So I do a lot of
Yeah.
watching and I don't chat as much as it's a lot easier when you're on the keyboard.
Well, we also stream for
Yeah.
like 6 to 8 hours on a Saturday night, so it's a little rough to sit there in your computer.
I
chat.
can actually plug this thing into my truck radio, set this up on the dash with the screen darkened, and just listen. And it's great.
Cool.
Although there is a little button for voice to text, that thing don't work for shit.
No.
Yeah, Will can attest to that. I'm constantly, because I fat finger when I'm trying to type on my phone or my tablet. So I'll use the voice to text, and he'll get stuff from me that's just garbled sometimes. He's learned to translate.
Yeah,
It's like, I know what you meant.
If you have context, you can figure it out. But if a stranger was looking at it, they'd be like, "What? What?"
My aunt only uses voice to text, and she'll text me things that she means for like my brother, and I'm like, "What the hell is she talking about?" Then I text her, I'm like, "What is going on?" She's like, "Oh, that was for your brother." I'm like, "That's good," because I couldn't understand a damn word of what you said. It was,
Yeah. It's like, are you talking in code? What's going on? It's back. Pop him in here. Where'd he go? Oh, you got
I
it.
feel like I see that
I'm
man
trying to
every
bring him
week.
in. Will's trying to bring him in. And we
Robert, long time no see. How you been?
Oh, I
buddy?
know. Yeah, sorry. I tried to turn off my cam and mic, and I ended up accidentally leaving.
That's no problem. As a reminder, the link is pinned up in the chat, whether you're watching on Wilhelm or Largo's Lair, or I think one other place we are tonight.
I got mine streaming.
At least,
Action Figs, yeah.
Yeah, so that's right. So if anybody wants to jump in and say howdy, you're welcome. I did ask the guys, I didn't mention it to Robert or Patrick because I didn't talk to them beforehand. We were going to talk, and Robert, you kind of gave me the idea. You were going to mention some holiday turkeys on your channel. I was looking through some of my random toys here. It's like I picked up a couple of what I would call turkeys, whether it be just stuff that I bought that has no place in my collection, but I just bought it because I thought it was cool, or things I bought that I thought would be cool that turned out to be just turkeys. So, Will, you want to start us off? You got something, a turkey, a goofy
I got a
piece?
couple of turkeys. Yeah, gobble, gobble, gobble. I got some cool stuff too. If anyone wants to see that later. But
I'll put you up
here's
big here so we can take a
yeah,
look.
one of the first ones I saw was this because it looks really cool. And I was suspicious of it before I purchased it. It's from the Jurassic, whatever the latest movie was. it came out, and it's a neat looking helicopter on the package. It comes with a dyno and everything. But when you get it out and you open it up, you realize it's just a little undersized, you know, because that's one figure there that fits in the pilot seat. It has a little bit of a gimmick here, and it has a missile. It's not bad. I don't hate it, but at the price that they were initially releasing it at, I did pick it up on clearance. I like the overall look of it, but it's kind of like one of those things where, looked a lot better on the package. The actual toy was undersized, and they didn't show like an actual picture of it. It was more like a render.
Show it next to your click and play Little Bird. Yeah.
So I think this on
that's
clearance
way too
was
small.
like $12 or $15, and then this click and play Little Bird was, like 20, comes with 2 figures, a bunch of awesome accessories.
That's a click and play Little Bird?
Yeah, it's really
Oh,
awesome.
that's impressive.
Yeah. And this is kind of dinky, and like I said, we would see that when we were younger too, something would look really cool on the box, and then you get it home and it's kind of like undersized. So I think this might still work for like some kind of custom, but bit of a turkey there. But I kind of suspected it. That's why I waited for it to go down in price before I got it. And the only other like turkey that I have this year would be like this ship I got from the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 movie. I think it was a big disappointment. It's just like I don't know what the hell it is, and it was the only way to get the Rocket Raccoon figure. Yeah, so from what it appears in the movie as to the toy they released, it was kind of a letdown.
Is that supposed to be the Milano?
That's supposed to be the
Or
new
the
ship.
Bowie.
Whatever they're calling it in the new movie.
Oh,
It's huge in the new movie. Like the whole team is literally standing at the front of the ship looking out, which doesn't even exist on this, so like the whole team would be able to stand right there. And this, the only problem was they packed it.
Well, like dial piece, you can make it into like a pyramid or something.
Yeah,
for sure.
You could cut it up and use it, and it was huge in the movie.
Make a nice hat.
That too.
I should try that out.
Nice.
Yeah, look at
Put
that.
some
Now you can
tinfoil
protect yourself from the
you're ready
aliens.
for, the
Yeah.
conspiracies. Yeah.
That was a bit of a turkey, I would say.
Yeah.
Did not live up to my expectations.
So
That's
this is
fair.
click and play?
Yeah.
I
I
love
found
that
this at a
little
garage
bird.
sale a couple years ago. Never knew where it came from.
Yeah, that's it. I love it. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. Yeah, same chopper. Very
Yeah,
cool. They
if
have it
you're
on
into
Amazon. It's only
118,
$20 right now.
Yeah, I was gonna
Still
say
up.
Amazon has a bunch of those those sets are really cool for 118. Be it the Little Bird, they have a Black Hawk, they have a jet.
I know
of
I
some
can't fit
sort.
Wild
Is it
Bill in there.
F-16? Well,
I think it's an F.
yeah, he's a little tall. He's what? Is it?
What's that?
And then they
For,
have like a bunker.
I might be wrong. Yeah, the
Bacon, you're trying
bunker
to
is
fit
awesome.
like a 4-inch, like a modern figure.
Yeah, the
in there?
modern. Yeah.
They don't. Yeah, the one that came with it, the pilot that came with it, fits in there well, and I'm sure O-ring figures would fit. But yeah,
Yeah, they're probably true 3 3/4 inch though, right?
Yeah, these are
Not
probably
4
more.
inch.
I got a ruler right here, so let me see. Well, this guy stands just under 4 inches, but also the way, that's the
Yeah,
same
he fits
pilot.
in there.
Yeah, that looks like one of the jet pilots.
Yeah, the figures that
Yeah.
come with them aren't, great, but the vehicles are cool and they work with most Joes and
Yeah,
other.
I would say
118 pretty well.
I think
The
it depends on
figure-
the vehicle because I do have a Humvee that I can fit modern Joes into quite well. But
Yeah, I think maybe it's just the way that the his feet are
Their
right
1/6
up to
scale
the
stuff
front
was the
there.
same way.
Yeah.
Some of it fit really nice, and the other stuff it was a tight fit. So it was,
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of 1/6 scale, I did a video recently about this little fella. You guys know about the GI Joe, Adventures of GI Joe, Capture the Pygmy Gorilla.
Hmm
This is so goofy. I know why they did it. It was a cost cutting measure, but you buy a 1/6 scale figure, and this is the threat he's supposed to be dealing with. I'm like, really?
Well, they tried
So-
to tie it
It's-
too much
yeah.
into the original Pygmy Gorilla, which they didn't have to do, right? They could have said capture the gorilla,
Right.
because back in the 70s, Hasbro went with the Pygmy Gorilla for cost cutting measures for sure. And
Yeah,
those gorillas were
Yeah.
highly disappointing.
definitely a
Oh,
turkey. Yeah.
Absolutely. I picked these up back in the day. I don't play Fortnite. I don't know much about them, but
Beef balls.
Beef.
yeah,
bars.
having a guy with a hamburger for a head who's a psychotic
Yeah.
killer, I just thought that was hilarious. He's even got a little French fry backpack. So he just kind of hangs out. He doesn't fit anywhere in my collection, but I thought he was cool. Same thing with Peely. It's like, it's a banana. Who can use
I always wanted to
you
get their
know,
man cakes figure, the guy
rifle.
with the pancake heads, but I never got it.
Yes. They're goofy,
saw 'em at Ollie's.
but they're fun. Yeah. They went on discount pretty quickly. And then I got this guy for my cryptids and monsters I'm working on for my AT-76, and it looked great online. I found him real cheap. Now I know why. This is from the Van Helsing movie. It's their Frankenstein. He's got a
man.
little heart light. Isn't that cute? When he's
Oh,
but his head is like really super undersized. The articulation on it is just horrendous, and he can't stand worth a hoot. So, but I didn't pay much for him, but still, it was a turkey. I had high hopes for him, but
I think in
I'll
the
use him
movie that
somewhere
head
in
was
the-
actually small and the real guy, wasn't it? But on that figure,
Kinda.
it looks really weird on the figure for sure.
it is definitely undersized for the body. It definitely is goofy. So the sculpt's
Yeah.
nice, but it's about half the size of what it needs to be. So those
Yeah,
are my
so
turkeys.
There's my turkey.
What do you? Let me blow you up
Oh,
here real
Croaker
quick.
bat.
Get to
Okay.
you.
Is that Super
sure the-
7?
Yep. First
That's
off,
that isn't that like the $50? It's like $55.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I got it for 20
Wow.
on the BBTS sale. So you see, I just flipped it a little bit, and there was his legs stuck back there. It's not picking up on camera, but if you want to watch my review, plug.
Yeah, we
The
should.
chest, the glass is removable, but the strap is over top of it. So you have to
so
work around the strap, and then you can fit. There's a hole in there for an electrical effect, but it's like, God, so much trouble to get that glass off, or the plastic off. I didn't even try. I mean, I tried it for a
Right.
second. I'm like, no, I'm gonna break this thing. The other thing is, the backpack just fits in these shoulder things right here, and it's so fragile. It's gonna break.
Mhm.
I mean, it just feels so fragile. So, it's like, yeah,
they're known in some corners of the world as subpar 7 for a reason.
I've-
Some of
I've
their
heard that,
engineering.
and that's kind
Yeah,
of
could
why
use
I
some
bought
work.
it, was that, I give them a lot of crap, but I admit I never bought one of their Ultimates figures, and now that Big Bad Toy Store sale, I got it for $20, and I feel I overpaid.
Yeah. I hear
And
ya.
the plastic feels
Oh,
very
buddy
cheap.
Bill dropped by to say hi. Hey, Bill. Hope you all have a good one. Let's check in with the chat. We haven't done that in a second.
Oh, yeah.
What else we got going here? Thank you, Will, for starring these for me. Where are we?
Oh yeah, we got a couple. I think the top star is Fat Red Foo. I'll pull it up. You're
Okay,
just
please.
saying
Yeah.
Brooder toys. Yeah, Brooder toys are great. They're pretty expensive, but they're very well made. They do a lot of civilian stuff. I think they might have some kind of like Schleich. Schleich and Brooder both do like a lot of like civilian stuff, but it's pretty pricey. But I always find them in Goodwill because, like, I guess rich people buy them for their kids and then donate them. But I've gotten a couple vehicles that way. And then we had Bill saying hi. Where is
looks
Oz is
Oz
here.
dropped in.
Yeah. Hey, Oz, how are you?
What up,
And
Oz?
probably the best screen name I've seen is this Digital Diarrhea?
Yep, digital
Well,
diarrhea.
yeah, very awesome.
I've seen him in a
Happy,
couple of streams before.
happy Thanksgiving. And the Briscoe loves that gorilla, man. Quite the turkey. So yeah,
Oh,
we have Scott saying give him a cape and a sidekick, and you can call him Batman. Haha. Bruder,
Oh,
pretty
that's it.
solid. Crap hands, but I found one in a bin at a thrift store. Looks like a Home Depot employee. Yeah, they do. That's my god, that's funny because I just said that. I found them at a
Bruder
thrift
is actually kind of like the old Adventure People stuff, right? That's kind of similar to their
Yeah,
design.
very similar to that, where there's a lot of like civilians, and Fanagan Collectibles saying, yeah, Goodwill is a fountain of goodness on occasions. Yeah, you can find them. And
Yep.
Bill just saying he has a new premiere coming up in a couple of minutes. So yeah, if you guys want to check
that's
that
nice.
out.
Cool.
Cool.
I think Scott was asking about my greatest American hero, and that is
Believe it
Greatest
or
American
not.
Hero. Matter of fact, yeah, I got him on a card here. This is from a what is the name of this company? Went right out of my head. Blow it up here real quick so you guys can see it. CFCB Unlimited is the name of the company, and they made both of the two main characters. This is a reproduction of something that Mego put out just before they went bankrupt. They did a set that had Bill and Ralph here. I wasn't sure which one
With
I had.
the
in my hand.
VW Bugs.
So with the VW Bug, and I think that was one of the last things they made before they went belly up. They're back now under different management, but it's pretty cool. I like, they had a carded and uncarded version they did. I've got Bill Maxwell here, the FBI agent as well. I loved that show when I was younger,
I did too.
and they did a pretty good job on these. They look good. Articulation is not, super awesome, but they're really kind of meant to just be hanging out on the shelf like the what do you call them? Excuse me.
Like reaction.
The reaction line. Yeah, so they're 5 POA. He's got his cape, got his little super suit, and he can move a little bit. He's stiff. I believe these are resin. Well, he's not resin. He's plastic. They're molded. It's not 3D printed, but they're a little tough to move around. But he looks cool on the shelf. So it is what it is. So if you want a Ralph or Bill, I think they're still available. Hey, there's the Epic Badger.
We have
Another
a badger in the
turkey.
house.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Turkey Day.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I love
fine.
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
I was going to say I love the theme song from Greatest American Hero. That was pretty cool for back in the day.
Oh, I did too.
You ever watch that show, Badger? I know it was a little before your time, probably.
I don't recall.
Yeah. I mean, I probably told the story before, but it's always fun to make fun of myself. But when that song came out and it was very popular, Greatest American Hero, I remember one day, during the winter, we were snowed in, so we couldn't go out to recess. So they had I don't know, one of the guys pulled out a guitar and he was doing a sing along, and we're all sitting there and he's like, "Does anyone know Greatest American Hero?" And I got up and I was like, "That's my jam. I love it." And he started playing and I started singing G.I. Joe, a real American hero. It's a Greatest American Hero, but I thought it was a real
Big Ben.
I thought it was the G.I. Joe theme song, and everyone looked at me and laughed and pointed, and then I peed my pants. It was the worst day ever. No, that's not what happened. It was about 2 seconds of embarrassment, and then everyone started singing the real song. And I remember just being in disbelief the whole time they were singing that song, and I'm like, "That's not the song. You got it wrong, people."
Right. Dope. But Fanagan Collectibles mentioned William Catt
House.
did play in a horror movie
course.
that was kind of a comedy horror. House was great.
Listen,
I
that
love
was one of those movies
that's-
that for a while it seemed like anytime I turned on the TV, it was on. It was kind of like Escape from New York was like that for a while, where any given Saturday I turned the TV on, I'm like, "Oh, Escape from New York again." I'm sitting down
It
and
was
watching.
kind of like Beastmaster on TBS.
Exactly. Yeah, House was on all the time. I love that movie. It had Bull from Night Court too.
Big Ben.
Yeah.
Very cool. Pardon me, guys. I'm just trying to catch up with the chat here. Yep, Jeff Morris saying he liked Greatest American Hero as well.
That was only on for what, a season or two, right? I mean, it wasn't
Thank you,
it was
Howdy.
very, very short lived.
Yeah, I think it had, I want to say it had 2 seasons and then it kind of meandered off and they tried to bring it back and it didn't really work, but I liked it. What you got going there, Epic? I know you've been doing a little baking. You've been making some goodies today, cookies and cakes and whatnot.
Today was food, which will last me a week. I make so much food on Thanksgiving, but tomorrow will be baking. I got stuff for pies. And then I've been playing around with my setup for my other channel that I'm starting.
Yeah.
So hoping
Well,
to get
that's right. Yeah. What is that channel? Because I know you just put out your first video, and that is
the Micro Showcase.
The Micro Showcase. He just did one on the Warthog, right? And what scale is that exactly? It's like 1/44th or 1/360.
So Action Fleet scale, you're looking at, it's not defined because ships aren't really relative to each other, but it's closer like 1/100. If Micro Machines are 140 something, I would say these are more like 190 in that range. Like the F-14 here, this is more like 190, 100. But Micro Machines, that's, you're looking at like 140, 160 range.
Yeah, so like when Ninja and Chad are going head to head against 118 and 1/12 scale, Epic's like, yeah, man, I do micro scale, you do you. So
Everyone's
he does a lot of
like,
the smaller vehicles. Yeah, what Action Fleet and what's the other ones?
Well, everyone's always complaining like, man, I wish I had a flag. I wish I could fit a flag in my room. And I'm like, well, why don't you go smaller scale and then you can just get your own aircraft carriers on a shelf.
And I just went ahead and dropped a link to Jesse Badger's new channel there. If you guys could just go over and check it out and give him a subscribe. That Warthog video was excellent. I really enjoyed it.
I definitely will.
It took me so long to hit record on that one because I'm starting off with my favorite toy from childhood, and I just have so much invested in it. I'm just like, I'm not ready to say anything yet. It took me like late in the afternoon to finally do it. But my next one's going to involve a little familiar friend.
I was going to say, I love the Godzilla head with the
I love
playset
those
inside.
sets.
Yeah, so cool.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Epic's got a whole bunch of those neat little, the whole playset inside of a head, whether it's Star Wars or Godzilla or whatnot.
Yeah,
He's
I'd
got
actually
some cool
just
stuff.
discovered
So
Epic
we're looking
Badger's
forward to
channel.
seeing those.
I had just discovered Epic Badger's channel like literally maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
And I was just
I haven't discovered it yet, but I'm going to.
I mean, there's this channel that I just started.
He's also a
Jeff Morris.
We tease him because he's also a
Mission Fruit
prolific baker and cook. So yeah.
Yeah.
What's the new one? It's got like the one that
it has a terrible name. So
is it
it's
Jazz? Where is this putting out the new one?
Yeah, it's Micro Galaxy Squadron, MGS.
Oh, that's what.
So, like, in the 90s, we had
It's a
Action
terrible
Fleet,
name.
which is most of what I have on the shelf. But they went with Micro Galaxy Squadron. It's not, they're paying homage to what I had in the 90s, but it's not for me. It's nice. I don't hate it. It's a decent price of stuff. I just don't want to go collecting all of it.
They made some cool stuff. The Starship Troopers stuff that they made was excellent in the 90s.
So,
there's
wow.
Bacon's got something.
That is a rare.
This is
that is a
one.
rare toy to find. You only find it on every other peg in the shelf.
That's why I got it, because it was $3.
I know.
That they're on series 3, moving into 4, and those are still on the shelves. That was the
Badger,
ultimate.
you got to pull that up again for Gaz. His mind's blown. Godzilla
So,
Micro Machines. Yeah.
There were 3 of. So this is from 1994. Trendmasters had a toy line called Godzilla King of the Monsters, and it
I'll
had
blow
this,
you up big here. Hang on.
and it had this green Godzilla heads, and it was all from one line. But they had a couple of these mini play sets. They also had 6-inch figures, 12-inch figures. They had these little mini egg figures, bendables. Like in 1 year, they put out like 50 product. But this is a Mecha Godzilla and Godzilla playset. But they had
They're
a
so
couple
cool.
of others with
Yeah.
Rodan and Ghidorah, Space Godzilla. This is LA. All the buildings are down here, but you just pop the buildings into the holes and you can see Dodger Stadium. Wait, is Dodger Stadium LA?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Hollywood signs, stuff like that. And then you can just pop them and keep them for storage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was
Independence Day they did some sets like that too. Scott was mentioning
Yep.
that.
I've got one of
Those are
those.
fun.
You can't see it from here. We'll just grab a few random ones. But yeah, Independence Day.
Oh yeah, that's
It opens up into, it's stuck. There we go. It's got a small city inside with buildings. Comes with a little F-18 Hornet. So my
Yeah.
plan is to go through each of
Badger.
these.
You've got a fan. Gaz thinks he needs one of those. So yeah, he's probably. He's good. You've
love the
enabled
Nice.
power.
Oh, I didn't know
Nice.
they did turtle sets. Cool.
He looks like me waking up on a Monday. Just like,
He looks like
Yeah,
me
we're
right now.
definitely looking forward to seeing you. Yeah, showcase some of that stuff. So, Gaz, check him out. He'll be over on Epic Badger's new channel, which there's a link in the chat.
There's a link in the chat. The micro collection, right?
I'm hoping to do at least one.
Oh,
of these.
micro showcase. I'm so
Micro
sorry.
showcase. Yeah,
Micro showcase. I'm sorry.
I don't even remember. I just started.
But yeah, it's like people talking. Yeah, 112 scale's the best. 1/6 scale's the best. 118 scale's the best. Badger's like, hold my beer, and he comes out with this stuff, which is just great. Yeah,
Everyone's like, I'm out of shelf space. I'm like, I can fit all my toys on a couple shelves.
Definitely makes it easier for moving, I'd imagine.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
definitely some cool stuff and really good memories there. And I just really loved watching, Badger go through them and show them off. So,
I mean, yeah, I haven't thought about those Godzilla sets in so long. I actually forgot about them, and then it's like,
Yeah.
I showed them. I'm like, oh god, I remember that. That was such a cool set.
Yeah.
This,
Seeing
I'm
some of
glad
that
you're
stuff
here.
reminded me that there used to be a Star Trek Galaxy line of
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the little bitty ones. All the
Um,
ships.
Yeah.
it was
I-
from Playmates. It was called Inner Space, and it had Next Generation and DS9 style ships.
thanks, Fat Red Foo. Have a great day.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping in on us. Yep. Since you are a much more hale and healthy and junior member of this August group, I'm going to bring up this next bunch. This is one you're probably better at than most of us. Embracing self-care. Personally, I'm terrible at this, but it definitely helps. Yeah, take care of yourself physically and mentally. Make time for activities that bring you joy, whether it's reading, exercising, or practicing mindfulness. Prioritize self-care to combat the effects of SAD. Yeah, I gotta get better about this.
I'm
I used to hike. I used to take better care of myself physically, but I have let myself go. I'm sure no one else here has that problem.
I am the absolute worst at this point of not exercising because I used to. I mean, I used to be really fit and like I'm lost it after the lockdown. I really did. I lost it. I
Hmm.
mean,
It was
it's like I
hard
wake up in
just
the
being
morning
stuck.
and I'm like, hey, you know, I could just squeeze out like 20 minutes right now, and then I just sit and drink coffee and flip through my phone.
I work out
Do
while I
it
drink
almost
my coffee,
every
Robert.
morning.
That's the trick.
Do what?
That's
I
it.
work out while I drink my coffee. That's the trick.
Yeah, that's what I need to be doing.
So you
If you
mentioned
put the coffee in an IV bag, you can hook it up and absorb it while walking on the treadmill.
So, Jim, you mentioned sad. Up here in the
Mhm.
Rockies, like we're getting snow right now. It's hitting Wyoming pretty bad. And I'm sorry, the one that goes by Big Bacon. I don't know your actual name. I'm sorry. You're a truck driver. You ever drive
Oh, yeah.
between Laramie and Cheyenne? That big
I
hill?
do not make it that far out west,
Okay.
but I am familiar with the region. I did spend a little bit of time living in Montana,
Okay.
so a little bit of travel here and there. So
Yeah. It's just, there's this big 16-car pileup on the interstate. Snow's coming down pretty hard. And it's just like, this is the time of year people don't go outside. They don't do much for themselves. They just eat too much. I found one of the best things for me was stop focusing so much on exercise, because if you don't go, you feel more depressed, and start focusing on eating better. It's just, it gives you a lot more results in a much shorter time. And it's hard, but sometimes it's just a matter of, instead of 2 sandwiches for lunch, just have 1 sandwich and an apple or something. But I find that a diet is just a little bit easier to get started with than jumping into exercise, because that can, if you don't see results immediately, you start to fall off real quick.
That's fair. I always try to hide exercise as activity. It's like I hate getting on the treadmill, but I don't mind going for a walk where I'm actually seeing something other than just the treadmill. For me, though, as far as food, I get into a downward spiral of I'm already feeling bad, so I reach for comfort food, which is usually loaded with sugar, which just makes you feel even worse when you crash. So, yeah, that's a tough one.
I can tell you I lost 125 pounds by doing nothing but walking.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that's impressive.
you're a man after my own heart. I love those.
I'm part of a Secret Santa giveaway in a Facebook group, and I figure I'll pad my gift with some chocolatey goodness. 'Cause
Nice.
I'm not allowed to touch those.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
The worst thing about diabetes,
and chocolate.
you have no idea how much stuff actually has sugar in it. Did you know
Yeah.
that milk had sugar in it?
Just about everything. Yeah. They just
Yeah.
added
Then not only did I have to give up that, I had to give up carbs and starches, rice, potatoes, bread, all of it. So I eat a shitload of bacon now. Which is why I'm on
That
a
was the
statin
whole-
as
Nothing wrong
well.
with bacon.
That's the whole the keto diet is really all just a lot of protein and meat. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the whole point was
Meat and
to kill all
cheese.
that sugar.
Certain cheeses.
Yeah. So you guys have a favorite comfort food that you should probably avoid, but it's your midnight
This time of
munchie.
year, it's Christmas tree cakes from Little Debbie. Fuck.
Mm. Those are good.
I gotta admit,
Will,
that
I know
for the
you have a
most
sweet
part-
tooth. What's yours? What's that, Robert?
I gotta admit, for the most part, I have eliminated most sugary goodness in my life, except for Three Musketeers. Every now and again, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Halloween just went by, so I had my Three Musketeer allotment for the year. And Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, every now and again, I'll be like doing a road trip, and I'll go, I just want a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And I'll walk into a convenience store, and I'm that guy standing there lost because I can't find a regular Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. It's like the big ones that have 4, or the thick ones, or the super size. And I'm like, no, I just want the regular old one so that I'm not taking in too much
Yeah.
stuff.
They have 6-packs now.
I know. I mean, it's
expensive.
like you can't find that.
Ugh.
Yeah, they have them with pretzels and potato chips and everything else in them
Yeah.
now too. It's like,
I don't
Right.
need that.
Yeah.
For me, it used to be Reese's.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
I would
But I do
mainline
so-
that.
I do
They're
so
good.
few road trips now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But for me, honestly, it's my homemade
Yeah.
biscuits and
And it-
gravy. So
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fanigan Collectibles
And yeah,
saying,
during the holidays,
you know,
we all have a tendency to overeat.
Fanigan Collectibles was saying, he's been doing intermittent fasting for the last 8 years, and it just becomes the way you eat after a while. So, yeah, if that works for you, that's great.
What's tough for me is I love baking, and this time of year I go
Yeah.
to local markets. Like I'll sell at local markets. But if there's not a market going on, I have this hankering to like go make fudge or go make all these big treats. And it's like I don't want to do that because it's gonna sit in my fridge.
oh no.
Yeah.
but the homemade baked goodies are definitely better than the stuff you buy at the store. So I mean, even just
Oh, yeah.
for you in general, right? I mean, 'cause you actually use the real ingredients, not as many preservatives and everything else. So.
Yeah. Did you know that Russell Stover makes
Yeah, eating
a
healthy's hard here because
sugar-free? Russell Stover makes a sugar-free Reese cup, peanut butter cup, and it tastes exactly like I Want to Die.
Russell Stover's the ones that makes the mellow cup,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. God, those things are awful.
yeah, some of those fake, diabetic candies are just, it's like, Lord, it's horrible. It's like, don't even try.
My ex-wife
But,
and two of my kids have
yeah.
celiac disease, so they can't have gluten. So their diet, their food is horrible too. It's just not.
Yeah, some of the I can't believe it's not bacon, or I can't believe it's not whatever. It's like, yeah, I can believe it's not. It doesn't taste like it at all. So
I've tried
just
to do
in
those,
moderation, a little bit here and there.
Although to be fair, I can't
But,
believe it's not butter. It does kind of taste like butter. That's about the only
that's
one.
Well, it's
That's
or
exception,
margarine
ironically.
anyway. Here, because I'm in a different culture, food is different. Obviously, comfort foods are different. The general Guatemalan diet is a lot of corn, which is terrible for you, and a lot of tortilla, which ain't great for you either, and a lot of things that are fried. Kind of like being from the South, everything's deep fried. So you definitely have to find recipes and things that are a little easier on me.
Ken, how are you? Happy
So-
Thursday
Hey,
for
Ken.
you.
Hey, Ken.
It's Thanksgiving for all of us.
Yay!
It's just Thursday for Ken. That was pretty awesome.
Hey,
We got to hang
Ken.
out with Brick. That was awesome. I'd like to see that. Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Come on,
And again,
Barbie. Let's go, Barbie.
Very
Yeah.
awesome.
Canadian Thanksgiving's different time of year.
Yeah, that would my job involves working with international students, and we had a lot of Canadian students. And in October, every one of them would come up to me to get their documents signed for travel. And it's like, we're all gonna go home for Thanksgiving. I'm like, can I come with you and have a second Thanksgiving? That'd be great.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Ken, thank you so much. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, that probably happened while we were on this stream, but it takes a while for YouTube to catch up and actually present it. So that maybe sometime next week. But yeah, thank you.
Do Canadians have the same Thanksgiving dinner that we do? I'd never asked that question before.
No, they do a Thanksgiving on a different day. It's
Well, I know, but do they have the
Oh.
same Thanksgiving meal? Is what I'm wondering.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the traditions are.
I think they have Tim Hortons and
probably-
maple syrup. Eh?
Hey, I'm in Western New York, man. We got plenty of Tim Hortons and maple syrup up here too. So I
It's
get
four.
that.
It's 4 flavors of poutine. There's meat poutine, cheese.
And Scott saying they eat moose.
Back
Yeah.
bacon and
Eat
beer,
moose.
eh? Yeah. Moose? No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll admit though, it's easy to go up to Alberta because it's a continuation of the Rockies. It feels like you haven't left home. If you live in Wyoming, Montana, going up into Alberta, it's just like, yeah, we eat burgers, we eat red meat, we eat all this. Like, okay, cool.
And they do eat poutine for Thanksgiving, yeah. And yeah, Ken, just clearing it up. It's in October, and generally the meals are the same. It's a very similar holiday, so cool.
Oh, so they're
Oh, he
sneaking
will
the Tim
sneak in
Hortons
a donut.
pumpkin spice.
Yeah, they do sneak that Tim Hortons in though, which
Yeah.
I've never had, and I hear it's great. But yeah,
I hate Tim Hortons. I'm a coffee connoisseur, and I
Really?
hate Tim Hortons. I think it's the worst coffee ever.
really,
It probably tastes
I have
better
no
coming from a
experience,
Hell
but I
Adult
can't
mug.
speak.
All coffee tastes good coming from a
Well,
Hell
that's
Adult
true.
mug, Big Bacon.
Where's Ted when you need him?
Oh, he's on timeout. His wife put her foot down, said he's got to take the day off.
Yeah.
No helidopen today.
Wow.
But like
That's
Epic
why we're
was
out here
touching on
simping
there.
for him.
There are parts of depending on where you are in the world, some places it can get kind of dark. You got to get you some sunlight, and this is probably true year round for guys that work in cubicles and dark spaces. You got to get some sunlight, man. It definitely, that vitamin D helps your brain. So SAD is linked to reduced sunlight exposure. So you should try to either spend some time outdoors during the daylight hours, or even sitting by a window and catching some sun will help. It's better than nothing. But that's definitely one that people forget sometimes. Is you got to get a little bit of sunlight now and then.
I have a very vivid memory of that Northern Exposure episode where it was like, it was dark most of the time, and they were all wearing like light things over
Mhm.
their head because of that, and that was the reason. And that's where I learned it, actually.
yeah.
We're fortunate that in the Rockies,
And there's
we
like
do get a lot
lamps
of
you can get for dark areas too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fortunate in the Rockies. We get a lot of sunlight year round. It's just when it gets into winter, you don't want to go outside when that wind is blowing. So you got to put on the heavy coat, got to put on the boots, got to put on the gloves, got to put on the cap. By the time you do all that, you lose your motivation to go take a walk.
Well, not only that, but if you actually
Yeah.
do
You're
go
wearing
outdoors,
80
everything's
pounds of
covered.
gear.
Yeah. And then you go outside and that
Well,
wind.
yeah. And
People,
kind of
people
defeats the
forget
purpose.
about- yeah. People forget about the fact that windburn is the thing. It's like sunburn, but the wind's hitting you so much it irritates the skin.
Yeah, now where I live in the Appalachians, and it's in a valley. And so, like this time of year, the sun doesn't hit me till almost noon. And like today was a perfect example. It was like frost everywhere until noontime, and then all of a sudden the sun came in and just melted it all off.
Yeah, we have no shortage of sunlight here in Guatemala, but we have two seasons. We have the dry season when it's super hot, and then we have the rainy season when it's just rain. It's like, it's a rainforest. So that can get a little rough, just rain every day. But, you find your workaround. Definitely it helps to check the weather and figure out when you got a day you can get out and to go do something.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah, Northern Exposure is a fun show. I like that one. Oz liked it too.
Yeah.
He was mentioning that. And definitely taking a walk in the woods is probably the best thing you can do, or a park, or whatever you got handy. There's usually in most places that we congregate as humans, we tend to carve out a spot somewhere where you can go and see a tree.
Yeah, I don't have any.
You just got to learn to
It's
appreciate.
really weird.
the
I
cold,
have
that's
nowhere
all, when
close
you
to
live
me
in
that's like
that.
like a park. The nearest park to me is like,
Really?
20 miles away. It's that one's a little tough for me because it's like it is just nothing convenient.
Well,
But I live in the middle of nowhere, so
So you don't need a park.
yeah.
There is that.
Well, the woods behind me is owned by someone else, so I can't go into the woods.
Yeah, you're
guys
in one
have
of those
eight
states
Well,
where
that's
lots.
not cool.
trespassers will be shot on sight.
Guys, I'm going to step out for a second, fellas. Will, if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
hit the next slide there and talk about that, I'll jump back
Absolutely,
in
yeah.
here in just a moment.
Yeah, sure. So, yep, the next part is create new traditions. Consider creating new holiday traditions that align with your interests and values. This can bring a fresh perspective and help you focus on positive experiences during this time. You know, yeah, it could be instead of having a feast with your family, you just buy yourself a bunch of toys and you open them up and you sit there in your dingy basement and mwahaha, you like them all. Absolutely,
My
though.
dollies.
Yeah, make something for yourself. You know, carve out, make your own happiness. You know, it's kind of the point there. It's like you may not have the people you used to have with you. You may not have the things you used to have, or the same connections, but you can make new ones, and that starts with you. So I think that's pretty cool. What about you guys? Are there any new traditions you've started since transitioning to adulthood?
Well,
I
I
mean, one
think
of the
like, go ahead, Big, or Robert, whoever that was.
One of the big ones for me, and I already talked about it on the previous stream, was my wife brought this tradition to me about just the kids watching Christmas movies and having snacks like 2 days before Christmas, and it was like so refreshing and nice that it was like, wow, this is a really cool thing to do, because it's like you just walk in the kitchen, grab something whenever you're hungry, and it's always there because my wife is sitting there just throwing stuff out, and she loves doing it. So it's just really nice, and the kids are laying on the floor watching whatever Christmas movie comes on. And we've done it with DVDs, we've done it with streaming. It's like it works every single time.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it's wonderful and beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much a tradition, but I always find myself like on Thanksgiving, because we're so busy cooking and doing stuff. I throw the Lord of the Rings special extended editions on, and I watch them. And I'll leave and come back, and leave and come back. I've watched them enough that I could do that. But this year was interesting because my granddaughter sat down and watched almost the entire Fellowship of the Ring special extended edition all the way through, and she was glued to it. She loved it. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, my daughter's starting to ride a battle sloth now, so
Yeah, I saw that. Let me see. Back before I got married, this tradition started when I got married. I no longer make decisions for myself, and apparently I'm no longer correct. So, but no, I mean the thing. I married a wife who was a military brat. 20 some odd years of moving place to place. They really didn't set up traditions. They weren't anywhere long enough to do that. So trying to get her into my traditions has been like pulling teeth.
Haynes,
So
Toy
we
Samples, how you doing, buddy? Happy Thanksgiving.
Major pain. But no, trying to find a happy median between the traditions I had and her lack of any traditions has been problematic, to say the least.
That's a tough thing. I kind of relate to that because my family had big Christmases. I mean, the full thing. Great grandparents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and 18 million of us young kids that were all cousins and stuff. And then my ex-wife, when we got married, it was basically just her immediate family, which was her and her mom and her 3 brothers. And that's all they did. And that was Christmas Eve. And then Christmas morning, they'd open presents. And then Christmas Day was like a normal day for them. It was just, we open our presents. Now it's just normal day. And my family, Christmas went from, Christmas Eve morning through Christmas Day night at midnight when we finally got home and went to bed as kids, and it was such a big transition for us to try to find that happy medium where it was like, you know, doing stuff with her family and my family together, and it was tough.
I hear you.
Yeah, coming to a whole different culture, I had some confusion with that because, you know, Thanksgiving is not a thing here. They're used to people coming in and, you know, showing up for a free meal, but ain't like it was with the Pilgrims. But, you know, so they have different traditions here. You know, Christmas is the same. Christmas is Christmas, but everybody's like fireworks happy here. It's like any excuse, any Catholic holiday, Saints Day, fireworks are going off. And I've got 3 dogs that hate fireworks, so it's like, oh man.
Yeah,
but other than that,
that can be
you know,
stressful.
yeah.
So the next thing is, volunteer and give back. You know, giving back can be incredibly rewarding. Consider volunteering your time to help those in need. Acts of kindness not only benefit others, but can also boost your own sense of fulfillment. So, you know, do any of you guys do anything like this to help you get through the tough times?
I can tell you this, Will. I, for a long time before I got divorced and got myself some help and fixed my depression and everything, I walked through places, you know, head down. I didn't want to make contact with anybody, right? Just leave me the hell alone. And since I got a lot of help and fixed myself, lost a lot of weight and stuff, now, like when I walk through the store, I walk through the parking lot, I'm always stopping to help these people, you know, load their groceries and everything else all year long, right? It doesn't matter. Brush their cars off when it's snow and all that stuff. And I'll tell you what, it is a much better feeling when I go get in my car and go home than it was when I would just, you know, keep my head down looking at the ground and just get me the hell out of the store and get me to my car and don't talk to me. It's like, you know, it's actually a definite thing. So
a few of us, I think Will's got an invitation. Our buddy Stu, who has a video over in the UK, he has a channel. He's going to be doing a marathon around the beginning of the new year that's for a charity, and we're going to be joining him for that. So yeah, you find ways to fit in somewhere and do something. I get a good feeling when I'm doing something for somebody else, even if it's just something small. So
yeah, I mean, my whole job
opportunities are out there.
People, so it's like,
yeah,
you know, I kind of get what you're talking about. Sure. Yeah, I'm a little lax on that now because that's my professional life. It's like, I mean, I admit when I'm at work and I genuinely help someone, I'm like, oh, thank God I actually helped someone. You know?
Well, I think that there is a reward from like solving problems is very rewarding. You know, and if you could help someone solve a problem that they're having, I definitely like doing that. You know, that's something that I enjoy. But you know, when these things don't work, though, you got to seek professional support. You know, and it's up to you, I guess, to realize, you know, when you need that. But don't hesitate to seek professional help if it's needed. Therapists and counselors can provide valuable support and coping strategies tailored to your individual needs. You know, I'm joking about it, how, you know, toy collecting is kind of my vice. I don't really do much else, but some people, you know, they do other things that maybe aren't so healthy for their bodies or mentally. And we find the things that work for us, but sometimes seeking professional help. I've never done that. And, you know, I know some other people have, so I don't have much experience with it personally.
And there's
different
different
when
flavors.
I was younger,
There's
you know,
psychology. There's you know, what's the difference? There's a psychologist, and then there's the other one that does medication.
Psychiatrist.
Psychologist.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I always get those mixed up. And then there's general therapists as well that are more counselors. You know, there's some good tools there. I've experimented with some of that. I've done it in person. I've also tried some of the online stuff with mixed results. I find, for me personally, finding good coping skills at work for the most part is good enough. But for some folks, especially if you get to the darker part of a downward spiral, it's okay to ask for somebody's help who that's their job, is helping folks get out of that rut. So, take a look and see what you can find.
Yeah, when I advise from an advisor capacity, I push people and students towards advising, and sometimes I tell them it doesn't even need to be the professional counselor. Like, there are just offices around campus. Maybe go to the outdoor program, go to these other offices, and just talk to people. Because sometimes I think people, they're so scared to talk to the professional counselor that they become very withheld. But it's like, no, go find someone else. Go talk. Let it out of your mouth and just have a conversation. But when they do go talk to a professional counselor, they often tell me later, like, oh, it helped. It was very helpful to have someone talk to you. But with counseling, a tip I recommend is you're not forced to stay with that individual if it doesn't click with you. You can ask to be moved to a different counselor, and they'll say that's totally fine. I don't take it personally. Sometimes people don't click. Let me move you to a different counselor, and we'll see if that works. So don't be shy if after, give it more than one session, but after a few sessions, if you don't feel like you're being heard, or they're not clicking, or they're not quite understanding, feel free to ask to talk to a different person.
Very cool.
And there's kind of a newer animal out there that wasn't really a thing when I was younger, is a life coach. And that could be, it sounds silly to some folks, but it's like, if you're having trouble organizing your life, or if you're covered in clutter, or you can't schedule, having someone who comes in to help you coach those things, if you can get the clutter out of your rooms and have a space that helps you feel more at ease, if you can get your schedule working to where you know what to do, when to do it, that can relieve a lot of it just in that. And those aren't skills everybody's born with. You got to learn it.
Well, guys, I guess the next thing is that you're not alone. Remember,
not alone.
you're not alone in feeling the holiday blues. By implementing these coping skills, you can navigate this season with resilience and a renewed sense of well-being. 100%.
Yep.
Kind of the whole reason we're here, kind of the whole reason we do all this is to connect with other people that are like-minded and into the same things we are. It's very easy to relate to each other, regardless of scale. We can.
My scale's the only one that's right, Will.
That's it. So, it's a wonderful thing we've got going on here, and I've noticed new people popping in. So that's great, and I want those people to feel welcome. And, because I was watching these types of videos, or, sitting in these live chats and not talking for a very long time before I did. So I'm glad I did, because I met all of you. So, yeah, you're not alone. We're here. And if you ever want to talk, just hit me up, I may not get but I'll get back to you.
Yeah, we're not going to go in the circle and ask everybody what they're thankful for, because I hate that. But I will say I am thankful for some aspects of this community. This is my social outlet, and I enjoy it very much. And most of the time, it's very positive.
The community that's been built around a lot of us in the groups that we hang out in is definitely a pretty great group of guys. I mean, there is a little bit of drama here and there, but most of it is just high level shit that, is just someone had a bad day and said something stupid, and they, just let it go. Right. But for the most part, everybody I've seen in this community is great. I mean, I get along with everybody so much. It's great.
I mean, I'll say it. I stayed out of communities for 8 years because it got so bad. Back in the times when we used to beat each other with our own severed limbs, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, Facebook really put a damper on a lot of the groups and stuff. I was in a lot of like the vintage GI Joe groups, the 12-inch ones and stuff, and those guys are brutal. You know, oh, that's an adventure
Yep.
team guy. He can't be putting pictures of him up on this, you know, military 60s GI Joe. I'm like, holy shit, dude, it's a toy, you know, and they caused a lot of that stuff on themselves.
Yeah. Gatekeeping and toxicity, I would rather see that not be a part of our community. And it does show up now and then, but for the most part, like you say, the guys we hang with, they're not about that. They might
Except
get
for that
accused
Will
of
guy.
it, but that's
118
not who
is
they are.
stupid, Will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Poor Will.
I know. I like all the stuff no one likes, but no, I think Jesse's got a pretty.
I mean,
No, everyone pretty much likes his stuff, you know. But
I mean, Will, 118 is my second favorite.
sure,
It was like I was saying in Chad's chat last night. It was like, you know, I'm enjoying all these different perspectives. It's like, you know, and I tried to name all the people who were in the chat that I could catch real quick. You know?
yeah,
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. I'm seeing all these other perspectives, and it's like, you know, Will, you said it, you know, you live vicariously through us, and it's like,
that's
yeah,
right.
and then, you know, you actually turned me on to the acid versus beta stuff, which I'm looking forward to. And, you know, you pick up a little bit here and there.
Yeah, and I don't have to complete a collection. I don't have to get everything in a line. I can enjoy when you guys pick something up that I don't have, and I can watch you guys, show it off and check it out. Maybe it's something I'll pick up. Maybe it's something I won't.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that Epic's into that I like to see his collection, but they don't really fit with what I collect, and that's cool. So
Yeah.
that's another aspect of what we do.
I'm like,
That's
Jeff,
like-
I have one
Jeff
stick,
likes
1/10,
everything.
1/12. I have it all.
Yep. And
Yeah, you can see it.
Scott said a lot of those
Little bit of
toy
everything.
groups brutally aggressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them can be.
I mean, and that's when that's the reviews I watch is stuff I maybe don't collect very often, or maybe I have a mild interest in, and maybe I'm going to say, oh, okay, well, how does this one look, or how does that one look? And then,
Hey,
maybe
we,
it's not.
we
for me.
like what we like. You like what you like, and if you don't like it, turn the channel to something else that you do
Mhm.
like. I
Yeah.
just don't understand because for me, like commenting, I feel like I don't comment enough on people's things because I'm watching it on the TV or whatnot, or I'm listening
Yeah.
in my car, and I don't comment on the things I like. I don't know why some people, they just feel like they have the urge. They can't contain it. Maybe that's how they cope with stuff, is just to beat other people up verbally. But if you don't like something, just move on. It's real
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
No one's cornering you to come up with a comment, but you'll find that you'll post something and then people are just like, and they just go nuts. And
Yeah.
Well, I also know that, commenting helps the algorithm. So I'm kind of like, sometimes I'll even say if it's like a channel I like, it's like, okay, this one is not for me, but good that you like it. And I may say a few things about what I don't like about it, but, I don't, not argumentative way.
yeah,
Just like,
yeah.
very statement of fact kind of way.
yeah. But I mean, I guess some
you
people,
can be
maybe they're doing a
engaged
video.
without being combative.
Sure,
Right.
but if I'm doing a video on this guy and I'm just telling you why I like him, that's not me telling you to do anything. That's just me
Right.
telling you what I like. So the fact that you
Mhm.
don't like it is kind of irrelevant, to the
True enough.
conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When
Except that,
someone's
Will,
saying
I'm on
this
to help
is,
your algorithm, and I'm trying to think of something to say.
if someone's saying this is definitively the best product that's ever been made, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong, well, that's a different statement. So I think that's where some people get it mixed up. If you want to make a video about how bad you think it is, then you go right ahead and do it. But
Yeah.
like Chad says, don't come on my front porch and start telling me what I'm supposed to like, because that's crazy.
All of these opinions are just that. They're opinions.
Right.
I mean, what I see about a figure might be completely different than what any of you see about it.
That's
Mhm.
right.
It's perspective, baby. which is why even though I do a review on a figure, I still go through and watch other people's reviews. Because no two perspectives, no two opinions are ever going to be the exact same. You know, I mean, I got a C-3PO from the sequel trilogy up on my shelf that for the longest time I did not know the back of his head open.
Right? Until you saw it on a video. Yeah.
Saw it on the video.
Yeah.
And it was like, honestly, I mean,
That little
there's
guy
no
popped
need,
out
no
and said,
reason to be
"Hey."
hating on anybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
All they're doing is saying what they feel about something. Just like I'm going to say what I feel about it. Just because we don't see eye to eye does not mean we cannot sit down and civilly talk about it.
Yeah. And this whole thing of, you know, you got to have if you're in one camp, you can't like both or you can't like anything. It's like, look, I like Action Force. I like what Valaverse is doing with it. I also like G.I. Joe. And I don't have to belong to one camp or the other. I have both in my collection and I'm happy with that. And you can too.
Yeah, I made a video on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that.
That was really well done, Robert. I appreciate that. Was very, very cool and witty.
That actually came from a conversation about Articulated Ninja with another YouTuber who was being, I'm just going to say it, an ass. And, you know, literally the conversation that was going back and forth between AJ Styles here and Hordak was the conversation me and that guy had. I didn't write
Now, will
anything.
there be
It was
more?
an actual conversation.
Are you planning more in that magical series?
I'm gonna do one that is kind of a sequel to it. It's gonna be about the aftermath of that video. I'm working on it right now. I haven't got it fully fleshed out,
Yeah.
but it's coming.
Yeah, so Scott's saying he doesn't
Yep.
mind if someone tells him they don't like something as long as they're not
Me
mean
either.
about it. You know, I had a person the other day comment, "Not my cup of tea," but it's interesting to know, and
Right.
that's perfect. That's the perfect way to handle
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know, personally attacking someone because they like something you don't like, it's just not cool. You wouldn't do it to someone in real life. Well, maybe you do it to a close friend. You know, we always rib each other, you know, give each other a little crap about stuff. But, you know, these are people on the internet.
Except Funko
And-
Pops. I will be sarcastic and verbally abuse you if you like Funko Pops. I'm just, it's
But
a
you
warning.
don't
I'm telling you right now.
subscribe to any channels. You
Agreed.
don't go on videos of people who like Funko Pops and then roast them for no
No.
reason. You know, it's
No.
like you just don't
No.
consume that content, so it's okay. You know,
Right.
like
And
with
It's
It's
also
like
the worst
people
type
are
of
into
people that
those,
want to
it's
go
groovy.
looking
It's
for
just-
the stuff they don't like just so they can
Yeah.
post on it. Right? Those are
Yeah.
the
That's-
worst people.
That's
you're
weird.
just miserable. You
It's
know,
like-
you're just miserable. Yeah, get a life. You know, that's pretty much it.
Well, I was on
Uh,
Oz's stream, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago now on a Saturday night. Someone popped in there, was like, look at this, a bunch of grown-ass men talking about toys. It's like, why are you even in this stream?
yeah, we get a
Yeah.
bunch of them. That's like old hack. That's hack. You know, that's like hack trolling. You know, that stuff would have worked a long time.
That's not
ago,
even
but
trying trolling.
Yeah,
That's a
no,
like,
it's not. Yeah, no shit.
Rolling for Beginners 101.
Gojatron's a little mad. You
Oh,
crapping
I
on his
started
Funko Pops
beef
again?
with. Yep.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I thought you guys were cool.
Ah,
Hey, Gojatron's
right.
going to do a very
Now we
long
got beef.
video.
The secret is we are cool. Funko's not so much.
hold on, I'm gonna roll my trolling roll. One.
Yeah.
Robert's got his next topic for his AJ Styles and
Yeah, I'm gonna make Hordak all the evils of the internet.
yeah.
Well, hey guys, did you want to look at anything? Was there anything Black Friday wise you guys were ranting and raving about? Anything you guys saw that was amazing? Gojatron's making a response video, right? I can't wait to see
I'm going to
that
get a
thing.
very sternly written letter. I know.
Will,
Yeah.
once do you remember it was maybe a year ago I was trying to start fake beef with you because you made it was not intentional, but you made a comment about like, oh, I don't like Rogue One.
Oh,
really-
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, no, I said something didn't make sense or something in it, and then you,
Yeah.
you got me.
I was trying to
I felt,
twist it the
I
wrong
felt
way.
terrible. Yes, yeah, I felt bad though. Like it
Yeah, but
actually worked.
it's important to communicate with the person when you're trying to do that kind of stuff. 'Cause it's like,
Or
oh,
sure, yeah. One
Yeah.
of the things I would say is like, just because like you're having a conversation with a group of guys right now, like, and you say something, like to some people it just gets frozen in that point in time. Like you said, I don't like that, and then they just think of you as that person. When like I don't get off the stream and go punch a Rogue One poster, or go home and then just driving around I've got it on my bumper sticker. It's not like my whole personality. Maybe I was just I've liked things one day and I don't like them the next day, and vice versa, you know what I mean? So sometimes people do see one comment, they take that one little bite and then they think that's like you, like, oh, there's Will, the Rogue One hater, and it was I forget what it was. It was one thing that didn't make sense, and I still can't even remember what
it was so clearly just you, and you weren't even hating on it. You were just
no.
But it was still, I was like, I'm ready to start a beef video about this.
Will's like an onion. He has layers. He's got depth.
That's right.
The young guys have a different perspective of the new Star Wars stuff than us old guys do, though. So
Yeah.
And there's stuff
I-
that's just
I-
not in our wheelhouse. Like the Turtles and the what else came out during that era, during the 90s. It was really big. Rangers.
Power
Some of
Rangers?
those things
Power
they hit at
Rangers,
different times in our lives too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I will absolutely say like the original trilogy, Star Wars, Empire, the best films. But I will also say Rogue One is my favorite to sit down and watch. Like I'm smart enough to recognize like what good cinema is, but I also love my camp.
It's one thing I learned about, YouTube in particular, is you could say anything, and well, maybe Funkos, no, Funkos, you'll get at least one person that's like, hey, I like that, and that's okay.
Yep.
It's actually, it makes more sense for me, because like knowing something is universally hated, but somehow still exists, bothers me in some way. Like where I'm like, how, like, who's
You
that
mean
guy?
like the Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, but there's a guy worse than that. So Yui Ball, he made a bunch of really terrible movies. He made like that Dungeon Siege movie. He made Blood Rain. This
He
is like
took
in
every video game property, went to Germany so he can get these
Alone
great-
in the Dark. I think he made.
Yeah.
He made. They are the worst movies ever made. And
Yes,
There
they
was
are.
there was like 3 minutes of Blood Rain that I did enjoy.
I'm gonna. Okay, I think I know which.
that
3
the
minutes.
credits.
No, I think that I think it has to do with something that was in every '80s movie, but doesn't exist nowadays.
Right.
a couple weeks
God
ago, I made
bless
the comment that
movies.
I can't stand Natalie Portman's acting in the prequel trilogy, and I had to make sure Allison Troy understood that I was just being sarcastic because she was ready to come after me. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I've had to
Look,
learn to be
she
careful
acted
because
well,
when
it
I'm
was just
typing in the
Parts of the
chat,
script that stuff.
sometimes you can't type sarcasm. So sarcastic comments
Yeah.
don't come off the way
Nope.
you mean them sometimes.
Like I can see Scott down there trying to start beef with me about Beanie Babies.
Actually,
he's not- If she's talking about the concept of how they're selling, yes, I would agree that they're the current Beanie Babies of our era. I have a
Yeah.
couple Beanie Babies in my car because I have a Bison Beanie Baby who's been in my Subaru since I bought it.
He said that was in
Nice.
sarcasm font. They really should just come up with some kind of sarcasm, and
Right.
it should just be a font that you could just switch off into really quick and type something out, and it would help. It would help a lot of this.
So Largo, you were talking about Black Friday, and it's not a Black Friday, but it's something I picked up, and I'm particular on my wrestlers, but there are some I love, and I got Terry Funk with
Oh,
the
good
branding
one.
iron
Terry
and the
Funk.
ECW
Nice.
title. Yeah. So I thought I'd share
like the
that
belt.
one, and then oh god, that belt is just beautiful. It looks like the old ECW belt from way back when. That's the other reason I wanted it was that belt. And
Very
Yeah, Funk
nice.
was a great wrestler back in the day.
oh man, I mean, he was great in that era. I mean,
Yeah.
he was my age when he got power bombed by Kevin Nash through
Yeah.
two steel chairs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and then I got the one D&D figure I ever wanted.
Nice.
Dritz from
nice. Dritz
Oh, yeah.
Duarte. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Drit's
Forgotten
nice.
Realms.
He
Yep.
came with was it a Panther?
Yeah, Guinevere.
Not
yeah.
not
Yeah,
that
this was
version.
a single
versions.
Kickstarter release just of
Okay.
him. Yeah.
I know,
I
but why
never-
didn't he do everyone? Because I really would just love all of them. I mean, I was
Yeah.
going to do a whole video series. I really think
Yeah.
like fantasy toys. It's funny that you mentioned that because the reason I got this next line, which and of course I would prefer it if they did Dritz in 1/18 scale. Because
Me too.
Me.
Yeah.
But I would love all of them. I would love figures based on the Dragonlance series. I really enjoyed
Dragonlance?
those as well. I would
Yes,
love
exactly.
that. I think that one's
That'd
been
be cool.
underserved. But from Bjorn Jorgensen, he sent me these a while ago, and I know this isn't as cool as D&D, but I've got Narnia, Prince
Oh, nice.
Caspian figures. These are 1/18
literally-
scale. Do you have any? of these?
Literally, I have all of those. I literally just I'm going through some stuff because there's some stuff I want to sell. And yes, I love
Okay.
that centaur. I have this whole line. I love this line.
Do you?
The
Okay, so
werewolf, the
Bjorn,
centaur, yeah, I absolutely love it. It is great.
He
And I was like
works-
sitting there looking at it going, I should do some kind of video series on this.
I didn't know they existed. So
I didn't even know they made those. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he works at a toy store, and they were having a sidewalk sale over the summer. These are, and in addition to that, and these were all out on a clearance table, and they were very inexpensive. So I just said, "Here, let me send you some PayPal cash." Just, I think I sent them some money, and he just sent me sent me a big bag of loose figures too. But there's some cool guys in here. None of them. So I got the Narnia
And that's
stuff
another nice
because-
thing about the what do you call it, community, that
Yeah.
we all live in different areas and have different markets. So somebody can find something in a different market that we can't find where we live, and that really helps.
These were like 3 for $10 or something, so I just picked a bunch out of the picture he sent me. But these are some adventure people. This is a
Fisher
Leonard
Price
did-
Adventure People.
Yeah, Leonard
Nice.
Decor. They did some O-ring construction workers back in the day. I have
Yep,
them.
they did.
And these are some, I think, Remco guys that I thought were
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
This one's the core. This is the one that I really liked because he is kind of like an Indiana Jones type figure, and he was just sitting there on the table. He's really dirty too.
Is
He's
he
a core figure?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks
I
like the
think
core.
he might
He is.
be the core, or I think it's the core. But
Check
someone
out
put
his
that
butt,
list-
Will. It's probably on his butt. Check it out.
Yeah, I can't read it even with the glasses. I'm looking.
I just wanted you to check out the guy's butt. That's all. Will.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to opening these up. Not enough fantasy figures in the 1/18 scale, in my opinion. But I
Well,
would
did you-
love D&D stuff. Oh my god, or World of Warcraft stuff. I would eat
Yeah.
both of those.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to collect fantasy lines in the one.
Yeah, unfortunately for a lot of
But I had to get Dritz just because I absolutely love Dritz.
Yeah, it seems like. Yeah, he's a
I
good
got
character.
these,
I
too.
bought the one with the Panther when that set came out, but they it seems like a lot of the fantasy lines, they do like the little figurines that don't have any articulation, or they don't do anything at all. So it's
I think
nice to
it's
see a
because
few
the
things out
armor and stuff, like because even those Lord of the Ring ones I picked up at Joe Fest, they had a lot of armor pieces and stuff that restricted articulation. But
Are you talking about like these that you have to paint yourself?
Yeah, tabletop gamer pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I dabble in that. But this is
Well, did you ever collect
Thanos
the
dropped in.
Dragonheart?
I just
Those were a
watched
little
Dragonheart
bigger.
today.
I think I had some of those. I love Dragonheart. That was a great movie.
yeah, Dragonheart was cool.
I think they were more the Kenner size, right? Like the 5-inch figures.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Nice.
I like just watching all 6 of our reactions as we slowly look at the comment. We're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, sure. The animated series D&D, I would have loved them in 1/18 scale as well. It would have been great. And just for world building, because I would love, like, for Dragonlance, I would love to have, there's the Inn of the Last Home. It's like this. That would be an awesome place.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love to have
Canis
it. It's a big
Half-Elven.
tree. Yeah, big tree set. Big.
I've been
tree
looking
house,
at
and,
taking some Mythic Legions and making the core set of figures for that book, the original Autumn
that
of
would be
Twilight.
that would be amazing. I would love to see those figures. But Forgotten Realms also has a wonderful cast of
Oh, yeah.
characters. And love both of those. I know some people are like Forgotten Realms is better, Dragon Age is bad, but they're both great. I love them both.
Ed, are you going to cover
as
any of
do I.
the Dragonlance novels in your Tales from the Crick?
Yeah, Luke and I were just talking about that because we were watching
Oh,
the that cartoon that
Yes, I remember finding that at Walmart
was
and thinking it was
out
awesome.
probably, I don't know, 5-7 years ago or so, that cartoon that came
I
out.
think it's longer.
Yeah. So we were just talking about that. But this week we're taking up your suggestion and covering Puff the Magic Dragon.
Ah,
And then
very cool.
Cool.
probably after the first of the year, we're going to hit, since we just did the Silmarillion, he wants to do Dragonlance, and there's some other book series that he read that he wants to talk about. So, yeah, that's the plan after the first of the year.
Nice.
Nice.
I've read every single Dragonlance novel that was ever written. So,
Yes,
all the side
well,
stories
not
and all of
okay,
it.
not the most recent ones, but everything before that. I've got like 30 or 40 books. I can't remember,
yeah.
but I read them
Yeah.
all. Yeah, love them.
I
Frontline
loved all
Slave-
the side stories where they were even better than the main story.
the side stories were better. Yes,
Yeah.
but I just got the graphic novel Legend of Huma.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ollie's grab bag, and I was like, dude, this is badass.
That's
man.
awesome. In a grab bag?
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it was so cool, man. I was like,
I still have
why didn't they make these?
everything from the first trilogy all the way through. Oh God, what was that one? The War
Early
of Souls.
2000s. Yeah, the War of Souls. Was
Yeah.
like, that's when like I haven't.
that's
I
when
know
I-
they came back recently, like within the last 5 years, and I never read those. But I don't know if those are good or not. But I haven't. But yeah, through the War of Souls, I've got everything. Yep.
Oh, did you see this
Was it
from Frontline? I didn't know this.
Yeah. Yeah. I just brought it up, but I'll wait for you. Look, hands off. This is how I tell Jim I'm not touching anything. Okay, good.
Sorry. Plus, with my delay sometimes. Yeah. So we like Final Faction. I did not know they're working on a fantasy line as well. Be cool to see what they do with that.
Yeah, I picked up a human figure and one of the big alien figures from the dollar store. I was actually pretty impressed with how good those figures are for $1.25.
That's right. Yeah, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
And then Scott with a zinger. I cannot remember. He said, I can't remember Forgotten Realms. I get it. Haha.
Boom.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the most underserved. And personally, I've talked to Jim about this. I've got this huge, like project I wanted to do where, we also, because it seemed like every freaking property in the 80s got or the 90s, really, they went overboard with it where they were given a figure line to just about every movie that came out. But Beastmaster, why couldn't we get Beastmaster toys? I would have loved an O-ring Beastmaster line.
I would love for them to do like a whole 80s fantasy line, right? Like Beastmaster,
section here.
Dragon Slayer, the Last Dragon Slayer.
Yep.
What was the one with the hawk? What was that called?
Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk, you know,
yeah.
those.
Yeah, with Rutger Hauer.
I like
yeah.
Lady
Yeah,
Hawk.
I think all those
Hated the
fell into a
soundtrack.
very
Love
funny
love
point.
the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of those fell into a very funny point of movies where it was like, you know, for a while they were doing everything and then they kind of suddenly stopped and it's like, okay, let's stop doing this because we're losing our shirts. And then
Yeah.
they kind of started going with like Masters and then Joe.
No, in the,
and,
in the 90s, they did it with everything, but it
Yeah.
was Krull. I was gonna say Krull. Gaz just
Oh,
said it.
Krull's
Yeah,
a good
I
one
was
too,
gonna
yeah.
say
Krull.
that too. Yeah, Krull.
Oh, yeah,
my
Krull.
favorite Morrison movie. I always wanted that Cyclops as an action figure.
Uh-huh.
I think
Very
I
cool.
watched Beastmaster a lot as a kid. It aired all
Yeah.
the time, and I was
Oh,
always
yeah.
like, I want little animal companions.
Of course.
Beastmaster
I want the
used
guys
to
that
be
come
like-
down
Photo.
and, with the shower
Photo
curtains
and
and they
Photo.
turn people into bones. They go,
Yeah.
I want those guys. And what's his name? Oh my God, the dad from who's the actor? The dad from Good Times played the barbarian dude with the long knot. I want him. So that would be such a great in Beastmaster.
Oh,
He
yeah,
had the
yeah.
bow staff,
Boat
and he was
staff,
wearing
yeah.
like a crisscross like thing and like a loincloth. He was awesome. He was the best.
Will, and you were talking about in the 90s, they made toys for anything. I mean, Last Action Hero.
There you go. Yeah,
yeah,
they Last Action Hero. They did
Nick-
Robin
The-
Hood. They did
the- I was-
Waterworld.
Waterworld, yeah.
What was his? What did he have? A Chevelle in the movie? They made a vehicle toy of that. That's actually pretty cool for
They
1/12
did.
scale.
they
Yeah, but
did.
that-
Uh,
It was a
John
convertible,
Amos.
right?
Gaz, you're the best. That's John
John Amos.
Amos. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that
John
guy.
Amos. Yep. But they also made toy lines for movies that shouldn't have had toys, like RoboCop,
very cool.
Rambo. I mean,
Starship Troopers. That's
yeah,
a
right.
Great,
Starship
that's a
Troopers.
great toy line.
Yeah.
But
Well,
shouldn't have.
MASH. They even did a toy line
Aliens,
for
lots of,
MASH, which was a comedy drama.
Yeah.
There's nothing there for kids to play with, but they still made toys of it because it was very popular. But it's like, but Beastmaster would have been wicked, man. Oh my God, so great. They did Police Academy. Scott's
Police
right.
Academy,
yeah.
yeah.
That.
Oh,
what
yeah.
was the
He's
point
only
of
had a
that?
toy line. Yeah.
Well, some of those had
Yeah.
cartoons made, right? Police Academy had a cartoon
did.
made.
They had a
did.
little animated.
So did
Rambo had a
RoboCop.
cartoon.
So did Rambo.
Yep.
Guys, I don't know how you feel about this. I don't know if it was late 80s or early 90s, but Conan the Adventurer.
Oh yeah.
That was such a great
remember
song.
that.
Oh, I love that. Even though what's his name? Rothamon looked just like Serpentor. Who cares?
That
Make it
cartoon's
totally-
on Tubi right now. You can
Yeah.
watch that cartoon on Tubi.
I liked it. I liked his little companions, and they had to go chasing down the star metal, and they put that gimmick in so they could kill people. That when they touched them with the metal, this sword is made out of star metal. When I touch it, they would just vanish to go back to the other dimension that they came from, rather than die. And they were all
gave
snake
a
people.
cartoon.
Right.
They gave him a pit bull or a bulldog with a goatee or a mohawk and made him a gym coach for a gymnastics team. So I guess he could do anything back then.
Yeah, right.
When while
Uh,
everyone
Cox-
was doing
Yep.
cartoons for kids, McFarlane is like, "Hey, I want to do a Spawn cartoon for kids." No,
Yep.
Yeah. I like
No.
Spawn was some
the
cool stuff though.
Spawn cartoon, but it was paced very slow. They could have done something with the pacing on that to
Yeah.
make it a little better, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, and that Spawn movie that came out at that time, those figures were
Yeah, that was some
Well,
rough
that movie was disappointing
rough
too
toy
compared
years.
to the cartoon. So
yeah. But yeah, I think fantasy toy lines have been underserved in the community as a whole,
Yeah. I think it's funny too. You mentioned Conan. I keep thinking of when we got cable TV, this magical thing, back then. And Mom and Dad could not keep up with the ratings, and it was like
Oh yeah, I remember.
I got to see The Thing, and I got to see Conan the Barbarian, and I probably should not have been watching those movies.
Awesome.
12
Awesome.
and 13,
Yeah.
but yet
Awesome.
they're really awesome movies.
there's nothing wrong with a child watching somebody's mom get decapitated. I mean, that's
Ah,
perfectly normal.
Or watch Arnold
awesome.
when he's
I've never
crucified
understood
and the
the whole
vulture
thing of-
comes and he bites the head off the vulture. Best. That's the best.
Oh yeah.
Or
It's
when they're
like
doing the defib and the
our
chest
censorship
bursts
in America is
open.
kind of goofy. Oh yeah. It's like, why is it we can show all kinds of gratuitous violence, which is unnatural, but we can't show boobies because God forbid a kid see a tit. It's like, that doesn't seem right to me. I don't know.
Goji brings up a good point about films that should not have had a toy line because that film shouldn't have existed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Battlefield
they
Earth
did
should never have
Battlefield Earth.
existed.
They
No.
did
Like somebody talks Avenger.
Independence Day, ID4. They made toys of those. Yeah,
Yep.
we
They
talked about
did,
that
they
earlier.
did a 5-inch scale with vehicles, which is a great toy line.
Yeah. Or
And then
Congo, the movie Congo. They did toys of that as well.
ID4 was
Yeah.
the toy line that included little floppy disks for a game with
Yep.
the figures.
Oh
and if you were lucky and you had a
That was
floppy,
so high tech at the time too.
yeah,
I mean, I actually watched Battlefield Earth twice on cable because I was like, did I just actually see this?
Did you lose a bet?
No, no, it was just so bad. I had to go. I have to watch it again to make sure it is as bad as I really think it is. And
Now,
it was-
has anybody
it was
read
bad.
the actual book? Because the book, for as huge as it is a really good story. And the problem is, the book is like 3,800 pages. They took like 600 pages and made a movie out of it.
Yeah, that's probably not.
Oh, that was
That-
Travolta's brainchild. He wanted. To
I
make
will
that
admit, I've
movie.
never read the book.
Well, a lot of times a movie comes out and then people get into the book. In this case,
Right.
the movie killed the book, so it made it much harder for people to
For a
go
lot
read
of folks. Yeah.
it. Yeah. If you really didn't like this, here's a big book to read. Yeah. Not many people wanted to do that. Congo was a masterpiece. Amy,
I
good
did
gorilla.
like the movie Congo, but it shouldn't
Oh,
have an
yeah.
action figure line.
I loved when she was throwing shade at the other doctor. She's like, "Amy, pretty, woman, ugly." That was the
Yeah.
best.
it was fairly easy because they made those toys around the time Kenner was doing the JP line. So they took, I think, some of the molds, not every one of them, but a few molds, some accessories. It was just Kenner had this arsenal of tools, and they were just looking for any opportunity to say, "Oh, good, let's grab these things, and then we only have to mold this much."
Well, that
Yeah.
was what Hasbro was hoping they could get when they bought
Oh,
Kenner
well.
and put
Yeah,
it into action. Was all that reuse that Kenner did magically, but Hasbro sucked at it. So
Well, even Kenner wasn't great at it. When they took the superpowers figures and turned them into Robin Hood, it was like, I don't know. Not
They
great.
they were masters of reuse, though. From
I don't know. That Sherwood Forest
were.
place that was amazing.
Yeah,
Sherwood Forest is better than the Ewok Village.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was the Ewok
I agree with
Village
you
at
on
the
that.
same
Yeah,
place. Yeah,
the Ewok. That is better than the Ewok Village. Even though it's the same damn thing.
but Briscoe, we didn't get figures from the Island of Dr. Moreau or Showgirls, but we really should have.
Showgirls, absolutely terrifying.
And with the Island of Dr. Moreau, you got the.
I thought
original
that was
one, the
cinematic
remake.
masterpiece.
Yeah, it was a cinematic masterpiece.
Indeed.
Especially from this timestamp to this timestamp looped.
I know back in the 90s, man, I swear I watched that like 30, 40,000 times.
Yeah,
Great movie.
yeah, something happened in a pool in that
Hmm.
movie. I don't really remember, but yeah, I think there was a pool scene that was.
It was intellectually stimulating. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll
all I
accept that.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of Black Friday deals did you find, Will? I know you were mentioning something you saw on the interwebs. Anything good?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. I've got the let me share.
while you're pulling that up, I'm just going to address. Scott made a comment about Battle Beyond the Stars,
Oh,
and I was thinking, well, they kind of had a toy line because they did have a Walton's toy line with John Walton. So a little bit related.
John Boy. Yep.
Yeah.
Was that
Should
Ray
I-
Harryhausen that did the sci-fi on that?
I don't know. It wasn't.
Should we go high to low?
No,
You could get no. This is their Black Friday tab. I clicked on it. Yeah, this stuff's crazy. But there are some good deals here, I guess. These are all over $100. Wow. Maybe we'll go the other
Ouch.
way. Let's
Yeah,
go.
the
Let's
other
go
way,
the other
please.
way.
I'm Paul.
Yeah, this
Hey,
hurt for
that's
me.
not bad. You got Masters of the Universe Origin Sorceress for only $475. Jitsu
Wow.
$570.
That's actually cheaper than when
$6
I got
on
them,
these.
and I got them for $6.
Yeah. $6. Spawn Mandarin Spawn action figure $6. That's a pretty good deal. And I think Scott was asking something about that earlier. You got these reaction blue shirt Cobra Troopers for $6 each. That's not too bad.
One more
if you
dollar
want the-
down, and I will buy those.
Yeah,
Thank-
I mean, if you
Yeah.
well,
$5.85 lower, and I'll buy them.
yeah. Let's see. I'm jumping around here. Yeah. So they've got $9 on some.
if you just want some
vintage collection.
background troopers that don't move, they're okay for that.
That's
Yeah, they
right.
are.
Yeah. Hey, this Revelation Masterverse Deluxe Battle Cat for $12.60. He's fully articulated. That's not too bad, right?
Oh, I have that. It is a good figure.
Yeah.
Is
that's
that
not
the one you showed me Recondo on?
No, that was the Origins one. I did buy. I bought that too.
These
Okay.
these are decent deals, but people are picking stuff up. You know, you got classified Cobra Troopers for 15. Mando, Mighty Morphin, whatever this is. He-Man in the Master Universe, Chaos Snake Attacks set. That's much cheaper elsewhere. I think that was on clearance. There's some good stuff. This Ultimate Al figure I've heard good things about by NECA. $22.79. It's 47% off.
I think Hella Dope still has that too.
Yeah, that's usually a $35 figure.
Yeah, now
guys-
Hella Dope just did a Black Friday sale, didn't they?
They
did.
announced their Black Friday sale. For
Ed, do you know
tomorrow,
what the sale is over there?
The
Yeah.
only thing I know for sure is they're having Valaverse and AWOC on there, and I think it's 15 or 20% off. I'm not really sure.
I believe
I
it's
know it
20.
kicks off at 8 a.m.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some good deals there. Let me
Valaverse.com has
look
some
at-
stuff coming too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let me see if Amazon.
I think Luke.
Can you
I
see
think
this
Luke
one?
posted a blog post on Hella Dope for all their
Okay.
Black Friday specials.
Oh,
tomorrow.
this was something. I'm sorry, I clicked off of the Black Friday stuff for Amazon because Carl sent me this. It was a nature-bound UFO spaceship for 1/18 scale figures, and it looked pretty cool for $20. It's
Ooh.
not a Black Friday sale. It's just
Oh,
I like. it.
yeah, and I think the cockpit opens in the
I
middle.
like that.
I don't know if that's from 1/18 scale because although this could be photoshopped, this kid holding it makes it look really small. But
Most of those are photoshopped.
yeah,
He's a giant.
does it say how big it is?
I
Anywhere?
remember Bjorn and I spent so much time looking and sharing pictures of all the bad Photoshop toys.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. But I think if
Well,
I
you
go
know,
back,
they used to have all this stuff because I worked at Fisher Price, and they would bring in the kids to play with all the play sets, and it's a big deal for parents to get their babies on these boxes and stuff. But you would not believe the amount of paperwork and NDAs and everything else these parents had to sign just to get pictures of their kids and how much they got. They got whatever it was at the Fisher Price store for free toys and all this stuff. It was crazy.
these
not
are
even
just
worth it.
3 3/4 inch Black Friday deals. Nothing really crazy.
Here we go with that damn 1/8 scale stuff again. Jeez.
Look at this. This thing kind of got me because look at this. You think this is a good deal. You see this little diorama piece? It says for 6-inch figures, and it looks like the ruins of some thing. But they do have a picture here to show you how big it is. It's a stand for a figure.
Oh,
You can put them
it's-
on there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's bad, man.
Yeah, it did
Pretty
not.
small.
It's not like. Yeah, it's not what I thought it was gonna be. So that was.
Yeah, it looks
kinda-
like it's supposed to be Weathertop from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. That's
what
right.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
That's what I was thinking, and that's all I really saw. If anyone saw anything else, I mean, Happy to pull
Well,
it
His
up.
dad was probably creative for those little army or the little gaming pieces, that not really a 6-inch figure, but someone decided to put a He-Man on top of it.
There was one thing I
Yeah.
wanted to show on the Big Bad thing. I think I sorted it and I lost it. Let me go back and they had for let me just do relevance here and I think it'll pop up. You could get a whole case of these reaction figures for $60, 15 figures. What's that come out to each? Is that like $5 or $6 or something?
That's actually not bad.
But you get a lot of troops. That's what I was thinking. Like if you wanted to troop build, and you
Well,
don't
what
have
each?
any of these, right? That's a good deal. Was it 15 figures? $4 each. That's a good deal.
That's not bad.
$4 each. I mean, if you like 118 and you want to build up your troops, you get 2, 4, 6, and then 3 green shirts.
That's about 3.75 too much.
Well,
That
how
was
much did these
interesting.
reactions go in the store for?
$20 each. They're
$20
$20 on the
Yeah,
shelf.
that's
Crazy.
ridiculous.
Which is not great. That's really not a good price. I think those should be under 10 and they would sell them. Here's
Yeah,
the
look
thing. I
at
always say that-
McFarlane Superpowers line, right? McFarlane Superpowers line at $9.97 sells like crazy.
exactly. Yeah, they peg warm and then they clearance them out and then they disappear. I don't think. I mean, there are obviously some
Several
people.
years ago.
I picked
Several
up the
years ago.
ninjas. They had those red ninjas and the other ones. They were like $4 on clearance at Target. I picked them up. They're okay. They're 5 POA. They're not,
Yeah,
Yeah,
several years
they're-
ago. I don't know if you guys remember the show Firefly or not.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Yeah, they had reaction figures for those, and that is the only thing I've ever bought reaction. And
I
back
would
then
love-
it was like, around $12, and they never actually completed the crew. It was like, who'd they leave
Come
out?
on.
Yeah, it was like they did Jane, Malcolm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who they left out here. They never did
Doc.
River or they never did.
Did
the
they do
Tans,
Zoe
either
yet?
one. Yeah, they did Zoe.
That's
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, they never did either of the Tans, nor
Yeah,
the.
and they never did the Serenity, right?
They never did
Oh,
Shepherd Book, and they never did the Serenity. But I bought what they had, and at $12, I felt like I was cheated on those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean back then it was $12, and I was like, that these are awful. I mean, I get what they're going for, but at the same time, it's like this is bad.
Yeah, the purpose behind the reaction figures was great, right? Get a bunch of different properties, all
Right.
in the same scale, all in the same
Yeah.
design, aesthetic, right? That was a great principle, just poorly executed.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. Some people buy them, I'm sure, and I think they rely on people like your girlfriend's at the mall and she knows you like this band, and she's at
Yeah.
FYE and she knows you like this band or you like this TV show, and she sees
Yeah.
that and you get it as a birthday gift or something. I don't think it's like viable as a collector's thing. It's more like, hey, remember that? I got you a figure. Look, it's the guys
Yeah,
from
it's-
The Office. They have like
Yeah.
the characters from The Office. They have Parks and Recs. They have, all these movie properties and stuff.
Did you
like
see that Mattel's making
it's-
the little people in like different things now? They have The Office. They have a couple other
And-
Parks and Recreation. They have a bunch of different shows and stuff. I think Star Trek. It comes in like
Oh,
packs
huh.
of 4 for the.
Oh,
Fisher
you mean
Price
like
little
the
people.
mega constructs?
No, like the Fisher Price little people, like they're old round figures.
Yes, I saw the TMNT ones, and that
Yeah.
I wanted to get those for my nephews.
Of course, they're rubber now. When we were kids, they were little round.
Oh, they're not
wooden
hard
dolls, but-
plastic.
hard.
Yeah.
Well, they were made out of wooden dolls to begin with a plastic head. Then they turned to plastic dolls with a wooden head or plastic head. Then they turned into that whole squishy, because kids had to be safe and be able to put them in their mouth and stuff.
God.
You can't beat your brother with a rubber doll,
So
Yep.
yeah, unless like I said, if anyone else saw anything great, oh, Bacon, you're muted.
He's saying into himself. Big Bacon, you're muted.
I saw him laughing, so I was like, he said something funny. We got to hear it now.
He must have
You're
turned
still
off the
muted.
sound and everything.
Oh, he's trolling us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to turn that back
There
on.
he is.
Yeah, Amazon is going to make me break my rule about not ordering anything online. They got Kamakura
Uh-oh.
down to $21.
Oh, nice.
Not bad.
Not bad. That's not bad.
If I liked Kamakura, I would go for that. By the
It's
way, do you
pretty
know I
nice
hate
looking figure.
Kamakura?
So, Will, I just sent
Well,
you.
fellas, we've
and
been
you don't
going
have-
about. Oh, go ahead.
I was
go
just
ahead,
gonna say you don't have to
Epic.
look at it now, Will, but later, just to let you know, Hercules 1996 had a toy line, so that's something you might want to look at.
Oh yeah.
It had Hercules and Xena.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
They did.
And they also
Yep.
used some of those figures for the Call the Conqueror line, which was another Kevin Sorbo fantasy movie. That was a horrible movie, but the figures were pretty cool because they came with a shit ton of accessories.
We've been going about 3 hours, guys. I think we'll start wrapping it up. Any parting words of wisdom? We'll kind of go around. Start with you, Will, since you're up there. We'll just kind of swing around.
Words of wisdom. Don't listen to anything this guy says because I'm an old man that plays with dollies. You know, I'm a lunatic. So yeah, don't listen to me. I don't have all the answers. I have some cool stuff, and I'm here to listen if you like. But no, if you're lonely out there and you got the blues, you know, the reason I'm here is to make friends. So you know, you got a friend in me. You could always reach out. That's it.
Ed?
Words of wisdom: don't swim in snake-infested water. No, I guess the biggest thing I would say for most people, especially men, is it's okay to reach out and ask for help, because that's one of the biggest things that most of us struggle with, especially as men, is just reaching out. So that, and be thankful for what you have. Don't compare yourself to everybody else, because what you see on the internet is usually bullshit. Like Will really likes Funko Pops. He just likes talking about how he does it.
They're all right up here, just above the camera.
What about you, Bacon?
He's messing with us
now
now.
he's being a smart
Yeah, I'm
ass.
messing this time. Words of wisdom: always pay goods and services.
Those are very good words. Yeah.
Honestly, take care of yourself. As men, we're not conditioned to show emotion, but we do feel it. And yeah, it does build up over time. So even if you have to go somewhere private, somewhere away from everything, and just let it out, do it, man. It's very therapeutic. I usually do it once every 3 months or so. So do what needs to be done, all right?
Robert?
Okay, I'm going to be serious for a minute. That was a Lance Storm reference, by the way, if you ever know your wrestling. Okay. One thing that life has taught me now that I didn't know back in my worst points was that it does ultimately get better no matter what. And that's one thing you got to just believe is, yeah, it's going to get better. And the life I have now, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I would not have believed I could have had it. And I'm very freaking happy, and that scares the crap out of me because of everything I've been through. But it's like, at the same time, I'm really enjoying it. So, just realize that life does improve, even if you hit a bump in the road, even if things go downhill for a little while, even if things go south or to the left, or however it does. Things do ultimately improve. It just takes time, patience, work, and belief. So
That's
you know,
good. I'm
I'll be-
glad. I'm glad things are going well for you. So that's awesome.
yeah, I mean, it's been really surreal experience, and it's like, you know, I've got this great marriage and this great child and this great family, and it's like, when did this happen? And it's like, oh yeah, I remember, but it's like, you know, at the same time, it scares the crap out of me because like, when am I going to lose that? You know, but, and I'm like, don't think like that. Just don't just enjoy what you got now, and then be happy with everything you got. And that's a tough one. It's like just be happy when it's good, and like navigate the bad. You know, that oh, that is a good one. Got to remember that. That, and I need a tagline, but I will work on that later.
What about you, Badger?
Something we tell our students during orientation is, with regards to mental health, talking to people is always good. It doesn't hurt to go seek professional help. If you hurt yourself physically, you don't try to treat it. You go to a doctor. If you're feeling hurt mentally, you go to another professional who helps with that. And there are those professionals. And so don't see it as, I have a weakness, I don't want to go talk to these people, or I have to admit it. You're going to see a doctor. You know, whether they're a doctor of all these different types, they're going to help you. So seek out seek out that professional help. And as a reminder, if you don't connect with them, ask for someone else, and they will do that.
So you can't put a paper towel and some duct tape around it, and if it stops bleeding, yeah, you're probably okay.
That's what I do.
One of my therapists that I went to for many years, I kept, you know, going and doing the medicine and the treatments and stuff, and then I'd feel good, so I'd stop. And she actually put it in a really good way, and it goes right back to what you just said, Badger, is like, if you have something like diabetes or something like, you know, a heart condition and you got to take medicine for it, you're not going to stop taking that medicine because you feel better, because the medicine is what makes you feel better. So why would you think that your mental health is any different than that, right? And that's what a lot of people do. They start feeling better mentally and they just go off the meds, go off the therapy, and then they're right back down in the gutter. And I couldn't tell you how many times I've been down in the gutter, so we'll just leave it at that.
That's fair. Well, my words of wisdom are: get what you can what you get, then sit on the can. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Find some good folk to get with. Find some camaraderie. Make some traditions for yourself that work if the ones you've got don't work. Figure out what works for you and try different things. If you try something and it doesn't work, try something else. This trial and error is probably the way we get through a lot of things. And mental health for men is probably one of those that takes a lot of trial and error to get it right, because we're all built different, and sometimes our wiring gets a little scrambled, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, as many of these folks are letting you know. But thank you, gentlemen, for hanging out with us on Turkey Day. God knows, it was a lot more fun doing this than watching reruns of some sappy holiday movie or watching depressing sports scores. So,
thank you, Will.
I'm going to go
Tomorrow
find
is
a
Planes,
tasty
Trains,
beverage or
Automobiles.
two.
Don't forget tomorrow's
Ooh,
National
that's a-
Holiday of Leftover Day.
That's right. Guys,
Yes.
words of wisdom here. Take it from me. I got a really good leftover tip. You get yourself some burrito wraps. You get the big ones. You take everything that you had for dinner today and you throw it in that sucker. It is delicious, man. I take a little cranberry, take some turkey, I take some green bean casserole. I put some stuffing in there. I put mac and cheese in there. I put whatever else is laying around. I roll that sucker up and I eat it. It's delicious, man. Get yourselves some burrito wraps and make yourself a leftover burrito. You'll
You
think
know what I'm
me.
looking forward to tomorrow? Because I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make me a cold turkey sandwich for lunch. Love it. I just love it.
That is good.
I just love that day after Thanksgiving cold turkey sandwich for lunch.
Oh, so good.
Yes, just so good.
All right,
Now
guys, you're
I'm
making me
hungry
hungry. I'm gonna play us out again. Thank you very much. Had a great time hanging with you guys. We'll do it again sometime in the near future. Enjoy what's left of your turkey day, everybody, and we'll see you sometime over the weekend. We got the 1-8 team on Sunday. Who knows? We pop up all over the place, so just keep an eye out. See ya.
See ya.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.